Spare Time. I'm your host, Carlos. Today, my guest is one of the funniest people I've talked to in a long time, Miss Paula Bragan. How are you doing, Paula?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
And as usual, my buddy Mike.
Hello. Back again.
And Spare Time is brought to you by Umpqua Survival, where you should most definitely come on in and give me some of your money, because that's what keeps us being able to do this podcast and, you know, waste people's time.
And Carlos is needing $20 to go to the massage parlor.
Yes, we learned this.
So please come spend some money.
I don't know that I'd be pretty scared to take anything that only costs $20.
$20.
Well, what the fuck am I doing here then?
Oh, jeez. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a mother again at 48. I have a 21-month-old son that came out of nowhere. I am currently going through the roller coaster of bariatric surgery. So I have lost over 200 pounds in 11 months. I have a husband who is 13 years younger than me. So that is a ride in itself. I am just out here doing what everybody else is doing, just with some twists and turns that I never thought I would experience at my age. And I'm loving every minute of it.
Right on. So, you were born and raised here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Born at Douglas Community Hospital, where when it used to be there.
Yeah.
Now you sign up for food stamps there, but it used to be a hospital.
I was born in Old Mercy Hospital.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Which is, I don't even know what that building is now. It was the, mental health for a while or something,
yeah.
But I don't think it is anymore.
It isn't anymore. They
Nothing.
took that away, and now they just live amongst us everywhere.
Yeah, they just gave him a tent.
Yeah.
Told him go find a spot.
And Narcan. Don't forget the Narcan.
Yeah.
Tents and Narcan for everyone. I can't wait to go get mine.
Narcan and a new home every 2 weeks. It's great.
It's a good time.
So tell me a little bit about you growing up. I mean, what was that like? What'd you do when you were a kid? What were you into?
Well,
I know we grew up the same era.
We did. We grew up with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch and what was it that we had? New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
Billy Idol was really cool. He was a good looking guy. I had many crushes on that guy. I thought of illegal things I could do to him at a young age. I shouldn't have thought that way, but thanks to my uncle, I learned how to think that way very well. Thank you, Uncle. Bath time with my uncle was my favorite time. We'll get into that later. But growing up was great. I had a horrible childhood, and it was good. It was good when I was with my friends' parents, but not at home.
Yeah.
It was tough. My mom and my biological dad split. And then my mom met my stepdad, and they got married. I did not know him. I was just introduced to him, and I did not know that my mom even got married.
That must be odd.
It was different, but at the moment, it's what she needed.
Sure.
So now, as an adult looking back, I understand her journey, but as a kid, I was very resentful and very angry.
I can imagine.
So I did a lot of partying and hanging out with people that I probably could have avoided to have a healthier relationship with myself and everything. But it was where I felt I belonged and what I needed at the time. It was excitement. It was trouble. It was a lot of things. But I grew up in Greene, where you grew up. And I had lived in a farm home house off of Austin on Columbia Loop. So it was based on your income. And that was when we finally got a home. Before that, we rented in Winston. I went to Winston Elementary School, and I started Roseburg School when I went to Sunny Slope in the 6th grade when we moved. And that's where it all changed for me. That's when I got into partying and meeting people and sneaking out and doing bad things, and 12 years old telling people I was 16 years old.
You were a real green girl.
Yeah. I was dirty. I was a dirty girl.
I wasn't going there, but
I was a bad girl. I did a lot of sneaking out, a lot of things I shouldn't have done. I was probably trying to hurt my parents, but didn't know that's what I was trying to do at that time. But then later looking back. But other than that, though, I mean, there's a lot of things I regret and a lot of things I don't, because it's definitely who I am today. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun growing up. A lot of finding myself through a lot of journeys. I got pregnant at 16. So.
Yeah, that's crazy to become a mom that young.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I got pregnant at 16, and from there I just dropped out of school, went to my principal, told him that I was pregnant. He didn't support me in that. I was embarrassed and ashamed, so I dropped out of school, got my GED while I was pregnant. I just went and challenged the test. And when you're a kid, it's that fresh. It's easy to go take your GED test instead of having to go do classes. So I just did that.
Yeah.
And then I was free from education at the time, and then I just focused on having a baby, and from there, it got really crazy. That's when I got into the world of tending bar and working in the adult industry for quite a while.
Yeah. You reminded me of some stuff when we were at lunch. Like, I had forgot all about Club Cosmos.
Oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
Best times ever.
Yeah, that place was funny. That was
Remember
awesome.
going up the stairs? Like there was like little holes punched out. There was like some sort of black something. It was like wood or thick I don't know, but it had little holes punched in it. So like the light that came in behind it looked like little stars everywhere and you had to get stamped. You had to go up there and you had to pay. And then you could go in.
What was the security guard or bouncer? The guy,
the colored guy.
He had the headset, and
there was also what did he go by? There was a black guy who worked security.
Yeah, he had a specific name and a nickname.
I don't remember what his name was. But yeah, I had forgot all about Cosmos.
I want to say Bubba or something, but that sounds so racist. But that's what it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember.
That place, and then that other place that was downtown also.
Club Paradise. And that Joey's parents owned it.
Was it. Yeah.
Joey had braces and a mullet, the curly hair, and his parents bought it and did it. Yeah, absolutely. I remember that. And we went there for a while. It didn't have good parking because it was downtown, and there was a lot of, that was when I remember there was a group of boys, the Warkaisers, Joey and David Warkaiser and Josh Poe and the Trollingers, Jeremy Trollinger and Brian Trollinger, and stuff. They all thought what did they call themselves? Wiggers.
Yeah, the Wiggers.
So they would wear overalls or baggy jeans and the stuff.
The Fresh Prince.
And they had the stereo systems in their cars. Those of them that had cars.
Was that the old Newberry's store?
No, it was down the street.
It was down the street from
Jackson Street. Or?
I think it's like a little mall now, like an antique mall or a secondhand mall thingy right there now, where people can rent, sell their stuff. But those were the cool guys back then. I wanted to fuck them all. They were all so cool. I looked up to all of them, but no, they had cute little petite girlfriends. So I just, get with them after hours.
when the girlfriends
I remember that was, you were reminding me about all that kind of stuff.
It was the best times.
Cosmos and
the Callahans, Military Street.
Yeah, and we were reminiscing about
Cruising Harvard.
And that stuff.
Oh, it was the best times.
Yeah.
I remember my parents had no idea where I ever was, because I would say I was spending the night with so-and-so. Yeah, but we didn't. We would just go out on Harvard, and we didn't know where we were going to spend the night. And everybody would pull their money together and just get whatever alcohol we could. Yep. And there was there was some older people that would party with us. Brett Parrott. He would party. Yeah.
Not Brett.
No. Good. We're now, I'm like, where are these people?
Brett
but back
and Eddie.
when I was a kid, Barry, what was his first name? Last name Barry.
Bob
Barry.
Barry.
Yeah,
Bob.
Bob Barry. And
he always had like 20 people in his little freaking
I know
Honda Prelude.
I know. But these people were like icons when I was a kid. They were like, if you wanted to go party with these people, that's where everybody was going.
That's awesome.
And I miss
good
that.
times.
I go out at night when I'm in town, have to go to Walmart or something, and it's a Friday night or a Saturday night, and Harvard's dead.
Yeah, well, none of that stuff exists anymore.
There's
8
nothing.
o'clock.
And I'm like, God, do you know how many blowjobs I gave? I had this
Holy
parking lot pumping. I mean, and I meant that literally.
Whoa.
Hey, watch it. Okay. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was worth the line.
Yeah.
To stand in that line was worth it.
Goes right back to the $20. $20.
$20 is $20. I don't care how you pay me. Sack of cans, food stamp card, I'll take it, you know? But no, those were just good times. And kids, you always knew what you were doing that weekend. It was you were going to Club Cosmos, you were going cruising. Those were the two things that you had going on. And then it always resulted in everybody at the Callahans, everybody at military, or whoever's parent was out of town or didn't care. Or who didn't care, because you had those parents that were really cool. Well, at the time, when you're a kid, you think it's really cool that parent didn't give a fuck that we thrashed their house,
kids did,
fucked in their bathrooms, drank their liquor, and sent them out to buy us more liquor, puked on their couch. They were cool with it.
It's okay, sweetie. I'll clean it up.
Yeah.
You're like,
when
those
you're
people
a parent,
were pissed.
yeah, and now that we're parents, we're like, that would never happen in my fucking house. That would never happen. But yeah, no, those were the good times. And now as a parent, I could never imagine letting that happen.
Yeah. I was telling you, I think cell phones and social media basically ruined all that.
They did.
Yeah, because, I mean, we didn't have a choice. You had to find a payphone to call somebody or go home and call them, you know, or you didn't know what was going on. And
remember when pagers? Remember when we got pagers? That was so cool. And you could send a page to someone, but then you're trying to find a payphone to go return the phone call.
25 cents.
Yeah, but that was, I mean, that was the whole reason for cruising Harvard was we'd go out, you get to see friends that you haven't seen because they go to another school or whatever. But also, it was to find out what you were really going to do that night. You know, you were trying to find a party or trying to find someone to hang out with or whatever.
And that was the beauty of it. It was like the excitement, the anticipation. And sometimes we would have a plan. Somebody would be like, hey, we're throwing a party. Let's everybody go cruising. Then we're going to my, you know, mom's house or whatever.
We'll meet at 11.
Exactly.
Right.
Meet at Michael's parking lot at 10 o'clock. And then we'll figure out from there. But do you remember when the Coors party balls came out?
Oh,
the little ball keg thing?
Yeah.
I remember my 16th birthday party, we got those because that was really cool. So we got the Coors party balls and went out Tyee. And that was like, that was when you had a good fucking time.
Right.
But nowadays, like you said, kids can just sit at home and go on Discord, play some games or something, or just get on Snapchat or whatever, and they're not affiliating anymore.
Yeah, well, and they can, if there is going to be a party or something, they already know about it because they've planned it on their
And then
phones.
if they go to the party, they're just sitting on their phones anyway. They don't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
They're literally sitting next to each other and texting each other.
Like, can you turn that music down? I can't, it's distracting
it's cramping
me.
My thumb, and
it's distracting me from reading.
Yes, I can't scroll with my thumb is cramping. Do you have some pickle juice? I can't handle this.
I remember getting people to either come pick us up or we'd go pick people up because nobody, we were, in our era, we didn't have money. None of us did.
We didn't have cars.
Yeah. Even if you were rich, your parents gave you like $5 to get through the weekend.
Oh my gosh! And Cosmos, I think I want to say it was like $4 or $6 or something.
But I remember having to stop at the gas station like every half hour or so to put like another $1 in my car when I was cruising.
Astro gas station.
Basically, I would just grab somebody else that wanted to cruise. I'd be like, "All right, jump in, but you got $1."
You got $1. Hey, we can't cruise unless you have some gas money.
No kidding.
No, definitely. And then don't forget, like I said, going to the mini market and getting your 49 cent
soda,
44-ounce Pepsi.
Yeah.
You know, and then you could go get a refill for 25 cents or whatever.
Anderson Market, T-Mart, and 7-Eleven.
Exactly.
Or
all
Scotty's,
of them.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it used to be Scotty's. Now I think it's R-Mart or whatever it is.
At the end,
yeah, by Broccoli. But yeah, and it was just a different vibe. It was actually fun to be a kid.
Yep.
And you couldn't just text someone that you needed a ride home. I mean, if you fucking missed the boat on going home,
You're
were walking or
Yep.
you're staying at who knows house and you don't even know. And I know I was stuck in that situation many times. But yeah, these kids just don't know how fun this town really was.
Yeah.
It was such a good time. I wish they did. And I've thought about that many times. Like, what kind of business could we put in for the kids to start to enjoy their childhood? For them to have those experiences.
That's
you'd have to deprogram them to get them to enjoy it.
No.
Huge conundrum there because legalities and everybody's afraid of lawsuits and all kinds of shit now that, what could you do?
Right. And you're putting
Put a bench out. Here you go. Here's a place to sit.
Yeah, I know. And
here's some Wi-Fi.
If they had a conversation or something happened and they were influenced a certain way or this happened or that happened, and the parents are contacting you and everybody is pressing charges on you for whatever reason. And that scares me that we don't have that freedom to just express ourselves anymore. But when we were kids, we did.
Yep. Good times.
We could say all kinds of shit. I could spit every single lyric to any Two Live Crew or freaking NWA song ever. And now if I decide to say any lyrics from any of those, I can't say that.
I remember when Two Live Crew Brian Bias got like the
Brian Bias.
He was the first one to get like Two Live Crew cassette, and then he made copies of it, and he brought a bunch of copies of it to school and sold it to. I think he gave them all to us, like a bunch of us. That was my first time getting it. Was because he got it somehow, and then he made a copy and passed it on to all of us.
Well, God bless him. Good for him, because he's spreading the gospel. That's the good stuff. That's what my whole childhood was raised on, the lyrics
the
of
dirty nursery
As
rhymes.
Nasty as They Want to Be. The whole album was literally my Bible. That was like everything to me. I remember waiting when you didn't know when new music was coming out. You went to Musicland.
Musicland, yes.
Yep.
And I remember saving my allowance or my babysitting money and going and getting singles. Do you remember when you could get a single, like $2.99?
Well, because you couldn't afford a freaking full album.
Right, you couldn't get, and these were cassettes back there. This was before CDs, and then when CDs hit, holy moly, were you rich if you had a CD player?
What was the other? They had Musicland.
It turned into Sam Goody.
In the other mall by... where Ross is now. There was a music store there too.
I don't know. I always went to Musicland. I didn't, when I was a kid, we didn't have, my mom and dad didn't take us shopping. So I literally, when I would get to go to the mall, we were just talking about
this last weekend.
That's where I shopped. That was the arcade in the mall was the best. You could play pool.
You were telling Elijah about that. He was like, no way. He's like, they just hand him $5 and drop him off for the day.
No, most of them got dropped off with no money.
No
money. Got dropped off. And then they would get their little crew of friends, and somehow or another they'd band together enough money to go buy some fries or something.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and the cookie
big
place,
cookies,
and the big cookies.
Orange Julius.
You could get Orange Julius. I never could afford
taco.
that place.
Remember when Taco Time was
Taco Time. Remember when you could get 4 tacos for $1?
Oh, yeah.
When it was over by the high school, and they would have specials on tacos.
Meat burritos.
I love those.
The crisp meat burrito.
Yep, and you have to have the fries, the Mexi fries. And you got to have them in sauce and ketchup at the same time. It's got to be the combo. So
and the little paper cups.
And the little paper cups. Those are bomb. Yeah.
So was Arctic Circle still going good when you guys were running around?
I never went to that place. I don't know.
At the end of the entrance of the high school, I guess.
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
Arctic Circle was the bomb.
I was very poor. I didn't have money to go out and do a lot of things. So we didn't eat out when I was a kid or anything. Like every once in a while, like on a payday, because a lot of my family, like my uncle and my grandpa and stuff worked at Roseburg Forest Products. They both of them retired from the Dillard plant. And on a Friday, family might get together and have pizza and Winston.
Abby's Pizza.
And they had the big fireplace. Yep. And I remember always wanting my birthday party there, but I didn't get birthday parties because my family didn't celebrate birthdays.
Right.
So I grew up in a family that my grandparents' religion, they didn't celebrate Christmas. They didn't celebrate birthdays. It did suck because I was sentient and I knew what it was, and other kids in school had that. But I didn't have that. But I also didn't practice my grandparents' religion because it was a very odd religion where children didn't go into church with
They went to
elders,
Sunday school.
No, we didn't have Sunday school. They actually went to church on Saturday. The religion's called Worldwide Church of God. And it was led by a gentleman, Mr. Armstrong. And then when he passed away, it changed and it became Church of God, I believe is what they called it.
I'll be damned.
But they did not. And they go to church at Granges. So it used to be the Grange and Green. And then they lost, I don't know if they lost the contract. I don't know. I don't know why they stopped going to that. But it's Looking Glass Grange is where they go now on Saturdays.
No
but
shit.
my grandparents were a big part of that. They had the Feast of Tabernacles and all these days of leaven and bread and all this stuff. So when I was a kid, I didn't understand the religion because it really wasn't taught to me because children were not really a part of it. So we got put in the mother's room, which was this room in the Grange where a mom was in there and you sat in there and listened through speakers to the sermon. Mm-hmm. It was very interesting, but they did not celebrate birthdays because the calendar is man-made. And holidays are pagan. So I grew up not having those kind of things. So it was really weird. So yeah, I don't even know where the fuck I was going with this. But anyway, I didn't have birthdays, so I didn't get to celebrate birthdays at Abby's. But I always saw other kids there having these cool parties with hats and all this stuff. And that was so cool. And then do you remember in Abby's, they would have a big stocking up above that had toys in it. And they'd do a giveaway or whatever. And when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh, wow, that'd be so cool. I could get that. Exactly. So I spent a lot of my childhood wishing I had everything that I didn't have. But, I
think every kid that grows up similar to that probably thinks the same. Because as a kid, it has nothing to do with religion to you. You just think that they're...
No.
Kids don't understand that shit.
They go along with what the parents do.
You don't know that it's because of religion that you're denied your birthday or that your grandparents don't get you a gift. You just think that they don't care about you.
Yeah.
Because if it's not explained to you and you don't understand...
I guess that would be like, what the fuck's wrong with me type of moment.
So you grew up with a lot of... what would you call it? Well, you just have a lot of issues with loving yourself if you don't feel that other people loved you enough to celebrate why you're here or that you're here. So it was weird as a kid like that. But I just learned to turn it into laughing all the time or having a good time or,
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I made a party everywhere that I was at, unfortunately. I probably partied in places I shouldn't have.
I remember... Like I was telling you, we had a class in high school. I remember that. And, but I remember you used to just crack me up. You were hilarious.
Yeah, I had to because I was a fat girl, born fat as a child, grew up fat. I hid behind my humor to make people like me. I didn't think people could like me if I wasn't making fun of myself. If I wasn't being loud and obnoxious and standing out, I was afraid I was going to fade away, that I wouldn't be noticed. I spent all of my time dreaming that I was like your wife, Sarah, or like Ronna Heichel, or these other beautiful girls that everybody wanted to date. Everybody looked up to how they dressed, their houses. They lived in the nice little neighborhoods. They had parents with good jobs. And I had poor parents. I was fat. I did not have nice clothes unless I went and I finally got a job on my own and bought my own clothes because my parents didn't have money to keep up with the stuff. And I had to have the Esprit, the Guess, the Gotcha,
because all the other kids
Genera, all the other kids that I looked up to that I thought that's what made you who you were.
Totally understandable.
Gap and all that stuff. I didn't know that it was okay because that's the whole thing is that when you're not given love and you're not giving nurturing and you're not getting support, you're trying to find it out in the world, and your influences are Cosmo magazine, 17 magazine, Vogue magazine, and the beautiful girls and beautiful guys that you want to date that are in school with you, and you're looking at what they have and what you don't have and you're striving for that.
Yeah.
And so that's where I went with that. So my humor and my laughter and my jokes and everything still to this day are my insecurities. And it's just programmed into me. I don't know any other way to navigate who I am without just making fun of everything.
Yeah.
Well,
everything.
But it works.
It does work.
It sounds like it actually made you into a stronger woman.
Oh, yeah.
Because you are done some pretty cool stuff.
I have done some very cool stuff.
and I haven't met all of your family,
Mhm.
but I met Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
He and I had a drink on my porch, and
Yes.
super nice guy. I really like him. I met Colton. You call him Rooster?
Rooster.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome nickname, by the way.
Yeah, he's incredible.
From the song?
No, he has incredible hair.
Oh, yeah.
And when he was born, it stood straight up like a mohawk. And
Copy.
and I raised chickens when he was little. And so everybody just called him Rooster. And now his hair is long
Hell yeah.
and flowy. And
Awesome.
he looks like he belongs in Def Leppard or something really cool.
But you also have your older kids from when you were young.
Yes, I have Dimitri, who is 31 and phenomenal. He's expecting his first biological child in December. And so my first grandchild, biological. I have 2 wonderful step-grandchildren. His wife has 2 just killer kids from her first marriage, and I adore them. They're going to be great siblings to my grandchild. And then I have a 22-year-old. She'll be 23 in December. My daughter Aaliyah, and she lives in Eugene. My son lives in Reedsport, and then Colton. So 31, 22, and then 21 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was told years ago I could not have any more children.
Yeah.
And I battled PCOS, which anybody who doesn't know, it's a horrible illness for women, especially it causes a hard time losing weight, facial hair, hormonal issues, tons of different things.
That fell over.
And it makes it very hard to become pregnant. Just adjust your balls, Mike.
I'm trying, man.
Unlock it. So
If you have to fart, just let it go.
It's one of the.
I'm clenching. I'm
pull it
clenching.
out. One of them you pull out.
He doesn't know how to pull. Do you know how to pull out?
No.
I didn't think so.
He definitely does not.
I definitely. I know.
That's realistic
I
kids.
was gonna say. I'm glad they took out
I
my
like that.
fallopian tubes. I'm afraid I'd get pregnant just being in your presence.
Yeah. Well, I had to take care of that, so.
Oh well, you know. That's what I was getting. They told me I could not have any more children. Kevin and I went to a specialist, and I was told I could not because of PCOS, fibroids, different issues with my uterus, that I could not have any more kids.
Mm-hmm.
So when my kids were grown and gone, I decided I was going to become a nurse. I was going to go to school, become a nurse. But first, because I battled my weight my whole life, and I was 448 pounds at my highest weight, I was going to have weight loss surgery. So I was approved for a 1 month away from a duodenal switch, SADS duodenal switch, which is a bypass and a sleeve at the same time. It's the most invasive weight loss surgery. When I became extremely ill, they sent me in for heart tests. I had nuclear stress tests, had all these things done. They said, your heart is fine. Sent me in for a CAT scan, found I was 5 months pregnant.
Oh, Jesus.
And you shit yourself.
And I shit on everything.
Yeah.
It's like a true miracle baby then.
He absolutely was. And then
100%.
And then I was told I had a 6%
The odds,
chance that he would even survive.
That's awesome.
So I had to be talked to about my options.
Yeah.
The option of having an abortion, the option of having him and weigh those out. It was very hard on me. When we found out, I was already in love with him. So I don't know why that fly's buzzing around. I'll shut my legs.
No, it's a gnat. He's been bothering me too.
Yeah. Well, then I'll open my legs back up.
There you go. There you go.
So, when I found out he existed, I was in love with him. I did not want to take and end his life. And I know I say that loosely. I value everyone's opinion on that. But in my mind, he had a heartbeat.
Sure.
He was existing. And he had a choice. And who was I to take that choice from him?
Right. Right.
So I had testing done and found out that he was 100% viable. And so I was told that I could very well die to have this baby. I couldn't have him here. I had to go to specialists in Eugene for my appointments.
Well, yeah, because not only because of your age, but also because you're
my obesity.
50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. My obesity and also lack of prenatal care.
Right.
You got to understand,
you
I'm
didn't
5
understand.
months pregnant, and this child has had no prenatal care, and neither have I. I haven't had any, but this takes it back to how instinctual our bodies are
The
and how
1800s,
incredible
yeah.
they are to know what to do on their own without medicine.
It's totally amazing.
Exactly. Incredible. So I was talked to not only by my doctor, but also by the specialists up there. I had to be sat down, and she drew a diagram like I didn't know my anatomy, which is fine.
Here, this is
to explain to me what was happening to my body and what the chances were for my son. But Kevin and I took it very seriously, and we decided to go for it and have Colton. And he came exactly a month early. So not only did I not find out till 5 months, but he came a month early to the day.
Wow.
So I found out in the ultrasound that he was exactly 5 months to the day. He was 20 weeks to the day. And then I had him exactly a month early to the day. The team in Eugene was phenomenal. That baby came out perfect. He was supposed to spend 2 weeks in the NICU. He was only in there 3 days. And then he was put with me. And then I had a bunch of complications, but I almost didn't make it. It was very scary. As a matter of fact, when I came out of surgery, I was not coming out of surgery. I have an amazing nurse who is also a very dear friend. We went to school with her. Her name is Mindy Sedlacek. She is an incredible nurse at Riverbend. She commutes from here to there every day to go to work when she works. And she was the one on watch and duty when I came out of surgery, and they had to get the rapid response team, break the CPR stuff. My heart rate was so low, and I was not coming out of anesthesia. So I guess my kids were there. My daughter came from Eugene, and my son came from Reedsport, and I had no idea they were even there. I had no idea they were around me. So in my phone is a bunch of pictures of them putting the little fingers above my head and doing stupid. Their mom is dying and they're doing stupid ass. That's my kids. That's what I brought.
That sounds familiar, Mike.
It does.
It does.
That rings a bell.
That is, my children are like, you know what, Mom, you're going to be just fine over here, guys. Look at this, devil horns. You know, I mean, but that goes to show you that they had faith that I was going to be okay. That they were confident that I was strong and I was going to pull through. But yeah.
It should make you smile too, that scary, you instilled the comedy on finding the comedy into your kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, God, the photos I have, I was doing photo shoots in there. The nurses that were there were phenomenal. A lot of them added me on Facebook because they had said they'd come and do their breaks and their lunches in my room and hang out with me.
Just for the entertainment value.
Oh my God, we were dying.
Oh no.
But oh my God, we had the best times ever. But yeah, so I got this beautiful baby. And then I decided to breastfeed on top of all my other issues in life. I decided to go with that again because I've already done it before. Might as well do it again.
Yeah.
And he has been, I'm still nursing to this day. He's 21 months and I'm still breastfeeding through the weight loss surgery, through everything. But yeah, I had him. I was in the hospital. I think it was my third day in there. And I called my bariatric surgeon and I said, hey, Dr. Rogalski, let's pick this back up again. I just had my baby. Let's get my appointments rolling. And he's like, all right, let's do it. So
nice.
I had him in January and I had my bariatric surgery in November of that same year. So yeah. And I did all that, went through all that. Both the best decisions I've ever made in my whole life. I am completely free of everything that ever held me back from anything. And I do not regret anything.
That's awesome.
It's incredible. I wish if I was rich, I would give everybody who wanted this surgery the ability to be free of obesity. Yeah. And I don't care what anybody says. Oh, all you have to do is watch your weight. All you have to do is count your calories.
No.
All that is all a bunch of bullshit. I have been through every weight loss clinic, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Monarch, every doctor for them to just give me a brochure and tell me, go online to this website and be part of a support group. All you have to do is count your calories
just
and
give us some money.
You need to move more.
Yeah.
You're just eating too much. You're not asserting yourself. You're giving up on yourself. You don't love yourself. You're just without saying it, you're just a pig.
Yeah.
You're not doing enough.
Exactly. Your fault. Yeah.
My doctor told me after doing a bunch of tests, and he's like, you were born this way and you have a disease. Unless we take the disease out, which is removing your stomach, you will battle this the rest of your life.
Well, that's good that, that there is that opportunity now.
Yeah. Because I cannot tell you how many moments in my life that because of the way I was treated and the way for one thing, you don't know as a child that there's anything wrong with you until people decide to tell you there's something wrong with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know I was fat.
You get not only the physical part of it, you get the mental part of it too.
Right.
And
that's right. And I didn't know I was a fat kid. I didn't know I wasn't okay until other kids decided to let me know I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so from there it starts. And once you hear it, then you start to hear it from everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you start to just...
adults say it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before you even get a chance to even let somebody say it, then you start reminding people that you're fat. And that's where the humor comes from. Making fun of yourself so that you break that ice with people so that you're both aware you're fat.
Be like the Eminem effect, you know?
Yeah.
You'd rather be the first one to bring it up.
I'd rather remind them there is an elephant in the room.
That's right,
Let's talk about it.
Here we go.
You know? I mean, and so that's where my comedy came in. And that's when I started doing stand-up comedy. I used to open for bands.
That's awesome.
Yeah. When bands were setting up their equipment, I would do comedy on stage. And so that was a really good time. I used to go...
Where was that at?
All over. Any little bar, La Hacienda, Rumors, anywhere. Yogi's, anywhere there was going to be a live band, I would go. I'd go to Eugene. I'd go wherever, and I would go open up for bands.
Nice.
And
no shit.
I would go to the...
Did you ever do the comedy thing over here at Rumors?
Oh, yeah. I've done comedy. I opened up with... I would have this piece of paper. It was blank. It had nothing on it. But I would go up to the skinniest guy I could find. And I would give him this... I didn't care if he had a woman with him. I didn't give a fuck. And I would give him this paper and I'd say, if you ever want to put on any weight, I'll be on top. And they did not know how to take that.
That's awesome.
They did not know how to handle that.
I'm like, whoa.
I would remind them of like, think about this. You ever see a couple where the guy's really skinny and the woman's overweight and he is balding? Almost 90% of those people, there is no hair on the front of their man's head. And that's because when he's going down on her...
U-turns under the covers.
And she rests her front butt on his forehead, it rubs
friction.
your hair off.
It's friction, folks.
So
friction.
He may be doing all the eating. But that man is bald because he is making that woman happy. And that's when you know you're in a healthy, balanced, fat, skinny relationship is when that hair is missing.
Yeah.
If that hair is not missing and they're together, either it's a new relationship
there's something going on.
Or there's something going on there. He's just not a pleaser. But I mean, I talk about everything.
That's fucking awesome.
From, you know, And I had a problem with my comedy where there was two people in the audience. There was the group A would either just be dying, they're
laughing.
Spitting, and they're just because they can't keep their drink down, and they're dying. And other people are just their jaw is on the floor the whole time because they cannot believe that I said that.
Oh no!
And then the couple where the guys doing this to their buddy,
he's like see, you're bald, see,
and so. It was really fun, but there was a lot of what could be considered racist because I think that everybody should be made fun of equally.
Yeah.
There is
equal opportunity.
And I'm not a racist, but I mean, there is humor in every color.
If it's funny.
I won't say gender, but there's two sexes.
Yeah.
Well.
And so there's comedy in each sex and there's comedy in each color and there's color. There's been color in me. That's why I know I'm not a racist because I have had color in me.
Goes back to the old. You ever had a little Indian in you?
Yes, the little Indian that could.
Oh God!
But I went from doing that, and then I had a girlfriend when I was in Eugene. I moved. I thought I had to get away from Roseburg because there was nothing here.
Yeah.
So I moved to Eugene. It was a stepping stone.
Every kid thinks.
Absolutely. There's no money here. There's all the same bars, same people. You want to learn something new. So I moved to Eugene and I met a girl. We became really good friends and she worked at an escort service. And she's like, you are built for and your personality, you would be an amazing dominatrix. And I did not know what that was.
Explain that to me. Yeah.
And so she's like, dude, you got to be a dom.
Piqued your interest in it.
And I was like, well, what does that mean? And what do I have to do? And she was like, well, let me take you to my boss. So this was a company called Classy Cats. It was a escort service. It was in the phone book because this was back when you had phone books.
Oh, yeah.
So you could look up places you wanted to party with for the weekend. And so I go and I meet with these people and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, this is what you would be doing. So there's no touching anything that makes a baby on you or the client. You can do massages, but you can't touch anything below in the groin area, but you can do massages. You can use a vibrator on yourself. You can let them use a vibrator on themselves. You can coach them to do things. You can spank them. You can humiliate them. And I'm sitting there going,
basically anything except for prostitution.
That's right. Okay. Absolutely. And completely legal.
Yeah.
But I wasn't interested in any of the sex stuff. I was only interested in the humiliation.
There you go.
And I found it intriguing. So from there, I learned pony play. And from there, I started doing bachelor parties. And
what is pony play?
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold
on.
So
you put bridles on humans. You have butt plugs that have horsehair that comes out of it, and you insert them in.
Wouldn't that be,
you use riding crops and whips, and you parade them around like ponies. They get on all fours and they neigh, and you dress up as, a jockey, and yeah.
And if it exists, there's people that are
you have no idea. So from there, I became famous for it. And so from there, and then I had little box bangs back then in my black hair, because I used to have black hair, and everybody said I reminded them of Betty Page. And if you know who Betty Page is, she's an icon, but she was big into the very early movement of spankings with hairbrushes and being photographed with other women, and doing really beautiful, beautiful photography. And she disappeared one day because she didn't want people to see her age. So she just all of a sudden stopped.
Yeah.
And she was fascinating. But anyway, so from there, I started doing bachelor parties and other things where I just went and put men in dresses and put a leash around them and paraded them around town and degraded them and put them down in front of their friends and humiliated them. And I got paid for it. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. Jesus. And so, yeah. And then I did private events and things, and then things took a turn, and I met my first transsexual, I guess, or transvestite. I'm really confused on the difference of both. And I'm sure somebody will have something to say about, what
the difference is, right?
But it was a gentleman when I met him who sat me down and explained what his needs were from me. And those needs were, I'm a father, I'm a businessman, and I am a husband. But when I am on business, when I come through Eugene, I want to be treated like a lady. But when I am around the people that know me,
I'm a man.
This does not exist.
Right.
But this is something I need for myself. And I was like, game on. So I would meet her, take her to dinner, pull the chair out, order for her. That was literally it. Going to dinner. Her being able to dress up in her comfortable self and just be treated like a lady. And then I went my separate way, and I was paid for that, just for that experience of that person being able to express themselves and what have you. And then they went about their life. I never knew their real name, never knew anything about them. That was a persona. Judy is who I met with, and Judy is who I took on a date. And Judy was not a lesbian, because I wasn't a lesbian.
Just straight.
Just wanted to be treated like a lady. And that was my first interaction with that kind of life. And then I had this one client. I call him Canada, and I'll tell you why.
Eh?
So Canada.
He liked maple syrup, right?
Oh, he really liked maple syrup. So Canada was this interesting gentleman who had a little boy that he had custody of on the weekend. And he worked in construction. And so very manly. When I showed up at his home, he had a random piece of produce, whether it be a cucumber, a gourd, a whatever. And he would whittle it with his pocket knife while he was telling me about his week and asking me how my week was. And he would whittle it into a phallic sculpture, put a slit through the end of it, and slip his belt through it and have me wear it while I made him suck on it while he watched a Canadian porn film in the background, same film, of two men using penis pumps, sitting on twin beds, looking at each other, just licking their lips while they used a penis pump and looked at each other.
Was there moose
So
in the
crazy.
background or
There
something?
was no moose. There was no Mises, no mooses.
Mooses.
There was
No.
just two Canadian men
Yeah.
licking their lips, sitting.
Oh,
They're
no.
two twin beds, like they
Oh,
took bunk
man.
beds apart, and they're just sitting, looking at each other, and using penis pumps. And that's what he was watching over.
That'd be so awkward.
And that's what
Oh my
and so
God,
I
that's
literally had to wore his belt with his piece of produce
Eggplants.
and had him suck on it while I grabbed his hair, and held it really tight and called him names. And that was one of my regular clients for a very long time.
That was
I
money.
also had a
Money.
judge.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients were judges
I wouldn't doubt that one
and
bit.
other people of big power that they didn't want. They had to let go somehow.
I've heard that's pretty common.
It's very common. Airplane pilots.
Yeah.
In Portland, when I did it in Portland, a lot of airplane pilots.
I'll be goddamn.
A lot of pilots, when they were coming in for stayovers and layovers, happened a lot. A lot of people.
You're ruining so many ladies' fantasies.
I'm telling you.
I want to marry a pilot one day.
Well,
Hey,
and
Frenchie.
you can, but just know that there are going to be women like me out there that are making sure that they come home to you mentally okay.
Yeah.
Because my job is crazy.
It's
and weird as it
almost like a
sounds.
psychiatrist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a lot of therapy for a lot of people. So when people think that the adult entertainment industry is dirty or they have no idea the service that comes with it.
Yeah.
When men go to a strip club and they watch a woman dance, they cannot touch her. They can't do anything. There's a lot of protection there for those women. There's bouncers, there's security guards, they're walk to their cars at night.
100%.
They have even people that drive them home. They have more protection than a lot of people do. And when they're performing this task, think about how many men are not doing things they should not be doing. And I hate saying that about men, because it's not all men have dirty issues with sex or with fantasies, but they do keep crime population down by giving an outlet for men to fulfill their fantasies, for them to have a way to
makes sense.
arouse themselves, and for them to, instead of taking it out on in negative ways, that I
Sure.
can see that happening. It's a beautiful industry. I support it 1,000%.
Yeah.
It's a really good industry, but I loved being a part of it. And that also takes me to another career path that I took
How long did you do that though?
that dominate 7 years. 7 years. And then I went into working as a bartender at some of the strip clubs that I became really, because when you get in that industry, you become friends with, just like in your industry, when you get into the survival industry, you're in with, you become part of the police force and the sheriff, because it's all a big brotherhood. It's all involved.
For sure.
And so you have same thing in that industry. When you get into that industry, it's a network of incredible people. But so I went into working at a strip club and becoming the DJ and a bartender and doing kind of like everything. And then I became what's called a house mother. And so what that is you have the craziest jobs. I've seen more vaginas than that's probably why I don't mind not seeing my own, because of my weight. I haven't seen it in so long. Because I've seen so many other vaginas, many of them. But I used to have a black light. And when my girls would go, because back in the day, not everybody shaved everything all the way down the way they do now. It was natural to have some hair going on. As gross as that may be, boys, it's okay to have hair down there. So I would take a black light, and when my girls would go potty, before they'd go on stage, I'd have to check their hair to make sure there was no lint from toilet paper
Copy.
in their pubic hair.
Because it's going to glow.
It's going to glow in the black.
Exactly.
You got it. And I have trimmed more vaginas and
Jesus.
sculpted and shaved and trimmed up. And you also have to tuck their tampon strings because they glow.
Certain people's dream job.
I'm telling you, this is what I did. I made sure my girls were taken care of. They smelled good. They looked good. Everything, their hair was fluffed right. Everything was, and not just their pussy hair, but their regular hair. Everything, because it was all about the hair.
A fluffer?
Yeah, I was a fluffer.
There you go.
I was a total fluffer. I will leave that at that. I'm not giving away everything today.
No.
But yeah, no, I've done, to support my children, and I have no shame in it. I have done jobs that nobody would ever think, but I never fucked anybody for money.
Yeah.
Would I have? The beauty about being a woman is, since the beginning of time, you sure as hell can.
That's the...
And why not?
That's why they
I tell people all.
That's why they say the oldest profession in the world.
There's lots of there's for every woman there's a million guys that would be willing. So
yeah,
and the thing is that women have so much power.
Yeah.
And we underestimate the power we carry.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad.
Some do. And they make it, the taboo or whatever and shit like that. But in reality.
Exactly.
There it is.
But men hold a lot of power too.
Yeah.
Look at what us women do to get a man to love us.
Yes.
To get a man to want to stay, to be a father, to stick around, just to keep you happy. So that, and that's the thing. I think each sex sell themselves short of what they bring to the table, and they don't appreciate what they both can bring. But that was some of the best times of my life. It was exciting. It was scary. It was fun.
Mm.
And if I could open up an escort service in Roseburg, I think it would be very profitable, because you have so many men that work in the forest industry, that work in the logging industry, that work in all kinds of that are, some of them just don't want to deal with a relationship.
If I remember correctly, there was a couple that actually tried to open here in Roseburg.
If you're doing it right. Legally,
they were doing it wrong.
It's a beautiful thing. But what makes it ugly is how many times I went to a job and men offered me extra money if I would have sex with them.
Sure,
and they're the ones that ruin it, because when you're called to a job and it was back then it was $160 an hour and the house got $40. What that means is that your escort service that dispatches you gets $40 for every call you get sent on. So if you're tipped over the 160, that's you keep it. But you also have, depending on what you did, like I had a driver. I had somebody who went with me and stood outside the door so that the person I'm with. Personal
security, you bet.
So I paid them $20 for each call. They drove my car, my gas, and got paid $20 an hour back then. That was a lot of money.
Just to stand there.
Under the tape, just to be there, make sure I'm safe. But that person knew that I had somebody outside that door, so they better not pull anything.
I got you, yeah.
And what you always did is you took the money and you gave it to your driver. So as soon as you are paid, you go, okay, just a moment. I've got to go see my driver and give my driver this money. You're straight up about it. You give them that money, you go back in, and then when they say, okay, what are we doing? Are we going to screw or what? And you're like, no, that is illegal. And I'm here for this or that. And these are the services I offer. And they say, I want my money back. You say, okay, just a second. You walk out and you leave, because by law, they gave you money for a service. It was a
transaction.
That's right. And they couldn't. And what are they going to do? Call the cops because you ripped them off? You didn't rip them off. You got sent there for a service. It's in the phone book, a legal service. So and that's
they try to elicit illegal services.
That's right, exactly. So, but the women that weren't strong or were desperate for money or whatever, had addictions maybe or something. So you go there for $160, but they offer you an extra $500 to have a good time with them. There's women that can't say no. I wasn't that woman. And my clients, and I had a lot of regulars because they appreciated and respected my sternness. But that's what they wanted with a dominatrix. They wanted sternness.
Obviously.
I was the boss. And now I'm the boss of Kevin.
Like, look here, fucker, you pay me.
That's right. Exactly. But yeah, so that was my funnest jobs. And then, of course, I had my daughter, and then I didn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I had 2 kids at that time, and I went into sales and stuff like that and got away from that whole industry. But there isn't a day I regret it. I really enjoyed it. And I commend any
it's fucking amazing,
man or
actually.
woman
I
that
think
works.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Any man or woman that works in that field deserves a lot of respect, because it is a very, very judgmental space to be in. Everybody is got their nose down at you.
Yeah.
But it's also really hard to entertain people and keep that up and be able to support your family on it. But it's really cool. It was a lot of fun.
Probably the aspect too is that a lot of people don't understand is, like you say, it's a lot of people with that higher status, and they're the ones keeping it afloat, I guess, would be a way to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't get the whole judgment and shit like that.
And you have different degrees. I worked in dive bars, like Union Jacks on Burnside is one of my favorite strip clubs in the world. There's more strip clubs in Portland per capita than anywhere.
Right.
And everybody knows
definitely.
that. And so you had your pick of the litter up there. And that is my favorite place. It had the most beautiful goth girls I've ever seen. And if you've ever seen a goth woman, they are goddesses. They are spectacular. They are something you do not
something
see
to say
every
about
day,
it.
and they are dark and they're dangerous. And that's what I was. And that's what I strive to be. And that's the direction I went.
Holy fuck.
And that's why I still have all my piercings. I had 17 body piercings from head to toe. I've had everything done you can think of.
I want to say Diablos. Does that sound right?
Diablos is a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah,
is a wonderful place. But then you had your gentlemen's clubs. The Dolphin, for example, that was a gentlemen's club. You went in there and you saw girls that were like the girls I wanted to be in high school.
Yeah,
that were
the
just
pretty. Yeah.
You know they smell like lavender and vanilla, and they're absolutely stunning.
And that's their
they're
name.
like Barbie dolls. They don't even look real. They're so beautiful. And they're so, and I saw women in every genre. I was a plus size woman in that industry. Very rare. There was this one dancer at Union Jacks. Her name was Dangerous Curves Ahead. She was a blonde, busty, plus size. And when she went out there, the men flocked. They would be getting drinks.
Yeah, they'd stop.
They would stop and
go to the
right
stage.
up to that stage. And she just rocked it
That's
every
amazing.
time. And she was adorable and she was confident and she never spoke a word. She didn't talk.
That's amazing.
She didn't talk. She just smiled. And then after she would dance and go out on the floor, the girls would go on the floor and the guy would buy them drinks, you know, or like have dances. She was just an enigma to me. Absolutely stellar. And I just aspired to these women. I always wanted to have that confidence, but I could never get there. I could never fucking get there. No matter how hard I tried to love myself, I could never get there because of the danger of what people did to me when I was younger and growing up. It just tainted me the rest of my life.
It goes back to the trauma of childhood. Yeah.
I could not fully love myself. I'm still trying to get there today.
Damn it.
I have a beautiful husband that loves me. I have beautiful children that love me. I have an amazing, my family was not good growing up, but I'll tell you what, I would not trade my mom or my stepdad, who I call my dad, he raised me, for anything now. I would have paid to have somebody kill them.
At the time, yeah.
But now I see and understand everything that they did to me when I was younger was just to make me stronger today.
And that's the transition of adulthood, from child to adulthood. You get to see.
There was bad, but the bad died with my biological dad.
I hear you.
He was a fucking monster. He was a goddamn monster. Yeah. And when he died, I never felt so alive in my life. But my stepdad and my mom, God, I don't know what I would do without them. There is nothing on this planet I would not do for them.
That's awesome.
But that's all I have. Like, ultimately, because I have friends, but nobody really hangs out with me or talks to me unless and I think that's, and I don't think that's a personal attack on anyone. I think that's all of our lives. Yeah. Like, we literally have our intention in mind that we are going to hang out this weekend. We're going to do cards. We're going to have barbecue. And then we're fucking tired.
Yeah.
By the time the weekend comes, we don't want to hang out and play cards. And it's not that we don't love you. It's just that we're tired, you know? So it's like, that's all I have really, is just my mom, my dad, and my kids. Mike and
I half the time when we'll hang out, like he'll come over to hang out and I'll fall asleep and I wake up and he's gone.
He's over here snoring.
I know, right?
Well, fuck, I'll leave.
It's like, that's exactly what would be. And I want to do more stuff. I was telling you, my husband wants to do did I say that correctly? Overlanding.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something we're going to look into, but I'm trying to just find time to have get-togethers. When we bought our home, I literally bought the floor plan based on having people come over for dinner and having game nights, and the kids are playing in the. And I was thinking about that, Mike. Fuck, I was thinking about what we were talking, because you were like, God, you'll have to be censored if you wanted to do shit. Remember you said that about me, and you're so fucking right. But I was thinking, God, I want to have everybody over and play Cards Against Humanity or whatever, and have fun. And the kids are watching Bluey in the living room. I was like, how the fuck do we play Cards Against Humanity when the dining room is open to the living room and the kids are hearing me talk about semen cupcakes and I can't, so that's not going to work. So I'm like, I'm going to have to keep my semen cupcakes to myself.
Yeah, damn it, goes back to censoring.
Exactly, because I raised my kids. I don't know about you guys, but I did not censor what my kids
No
heard.
filters.
No filters. My kids cuss.
Reality.
They cussed as kids, and I didn't care. My kids are not junkies. They are not alcoholics. They're not been in trouble with the law. They're nothing, but they cuss like fucking sailors, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
When we start to put constraints on them, that's when I fear that's when they lash out and start getting into some crazy shit when we don't just accept them for being who they are.
I think sheltering kids is the worst thing.
Right, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
in Europe, they don't.
Just some of the people that you know growing up that were sheltered.
Oh, yeah.
And look what they went through.
Yeah, I think about that too. But I also think about the people I hung out with that weren't sheltered because their parents let them do pretty much. Like my good friend's mom let us smoke when we were 12 in the 6th grade and stuff, because she said, I'd rather you did it here than do it behind my back.
Yeah.
Well, one of her girls has passed away from a drug overdose and the other one has addiction issues to this day.
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22.
It is.
Either way you flip it.
It can't be a free-for-all.
No.
You also have to be.
There's got to be boundaries.
You got to at least be the voice of reason for their kids. I mean, you got to try. Yes. I mean, like our kids, we've always, once they reach a certain age, we've let them have a couple drinks with us or whatever.
And because we'd passage, though, I remember that was like part of, that's just part of being with your family.
We'd rather them do it with us. They're going to do it either way.
Right.
I'd rather them do it where I know they're safe.
They're not getting their drinks spiked. They're getting an amount that's not going to make them sick or hurt them. They're in a safe environment. They're not in a car with anybody or doing anything like that. So they're safe.
But I mean, along with that, they also got lots of lessons. They got talked to a lot about it. You know, they got preached to about it as far as what to do, what not to do, that kind of thing. And then we always told them, we were always open about if you ever need to call us.
Oh, definitely.
You know, you always call us.
100%.
You know,
you're never going to be in trouble if you come to us. You were safe here. Do not ever
think. If I get a call from somebody else,
you got it. That's my kids too. I always told them, there is nothing you can't come to me about. Please do not ever shut down and do that, because I will always be here.
Because there was also those parents out there that were they just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, or you were in trouble, so they didn't want to get in trouble, so they didn't. They did because they were scared.
Well, which was me. Your daughter got an MIP, and you know my boy Gavin got an MIP.
I got an MIP.
It was the whole, you know, don't let the police call me and say you're in an accident or something like that, or you got in a car with somebody, or so here's this cop calling me, hey, do you want to come pick your child up? And tells me the address, and I hear my kid in the background. I knew he wasn't hurt or anything like that because he's being a smart ass, running his mouth. It's like, all right. So I go to pick him up. I was like, what the fuck? You know, your uncle lives a street away and you decided to stay right here and get in trouble? You fucking idiot. And get in the car. We're going.
Yeah.
But it's rather, I would much rather have that conversation, like, you little idiot, than the alternative.
Absolutely. Officer Childers is who gave me my MIP, the motorcycle cop.
Oh, yeah. He's one of my regular customers.
Officer Childers gave me my MIP at the duck pond by Fred Meyer's, and I was 14.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll remember forever. And he was so mad because he wasn't, but I was picking the dead mosquitoes and bugs off of his bike light.
Oh, shit.
And flicking them at him while he was trying to talk to me.
He's like, stop it. Stop it.
And I was flicking, and that's all I remember. I just remember him, his flashlight, his headlight of his bike, me flicking bugs, and him telling me, oh, I can't wait till your mom gets here. I cannot wait till your mom gets here.
I can't wait to tell her what you're doing.
And it was hilarious from what I remember. That's all I remember. But I usually didn't get in trouble and get caught doing things, but at that moment I was not being a good girl. I was being naughty. And I got in a lot of trouble for that. But it was worth it. Worth it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just think about things a lot, especially lately. you know? And being almost 50 years old and starting over with a baby, and not only starting over with a baby, but starting over with my new body.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had these opportunities years ago so I could have really done some damage, but I think that's why I wasn't given those opportunities.
Sure, there's
because
a reason.
I would have been dancing on that stage. I would have been doing the thing, and I would have had a blast, but I'm really excited to see what happens. I'm up for skin removal. I was contacted by Oregon Health and Science University.
That's what you're saying, the wait time.
Yeah, they contacted me. I called to make my appointment, and my appointment for my consultation is August of 2028.
Holy shit. They're that far out, huh?
And then they said, once you have your consultation, then after that, it's about a year to 2 year wait for your surgery.
Wow.
Maybe things will change by then.
So I'm thinking I'm going to have to go a different route. I'll figure it out, but it's probably going to be like, I thought about this. I'm just going to throw this out here, guys. What if here at Umpqua Survival, because I know you guys do a lot of really cool, like plant sales and stuff. What if I put on my bikini and do a car wash out here? And when people see what the fuck is going on under these clothes, they are going to donate to my skin.
Oh my God.
Because I look like a raisin and a ball sack had a baby and decided it was a good idea to start breathing.
Oh, fuck.
And I am not kidding you. I have seen things that are let me whip one of my tits out and show you.
What was the description you gave when we were leaving lunch? That was the funniest fucking thing.
It was, I think it was I said a Shar-Pei and a hairless cat. Because I am telling you what, I have never seen, and I was in the bathtub, and I got up to get out of the bathtub, and I thought, what the fuck? I looked out, and my tits were hanging down, because I was bending over like this to try to get my... And I thought, I'm going to do it. I got on all fours and looked at myself, and literally my tit was about 14 inches long.
God damn.
And it was about 14 inches long. And I didn't know what the fuck it was. It was like a pendulum or something. It was swinging.
What's going
and
on
it was
here?
going different directions. And I was like, you know what? I just need to take them out to a field and find water. I just need to go out and have them show me.
Oh my gosh.
Like it was like
a
dowry rod,
yeah,
whatever it is. But and that was nothing. I lift up my front butt. I think that's the political term for it. Is that the political awareness? Is a front
I know
butt?
what you're talking about, yeah.
And a fucking apron, whatever they call this. Okay.
Oh fuck.
And I lifted it, and I had no idea my vagina looked like that. It had a goddamn baseball hat on or something. I don't know, some sort of mound. The Elephant Man.
He's like, what's
Do you
up?
remember the Elephant Man, the black and white with the fucking growth and the stuff? My vagina looks like the Elephant Man.
Oh, no.
And I called Kevin, and I said, Kevin, and I'm standing sideways.
Why didn't you tell me?
And I said, Kevin, look at this. And I lifted it up, and I'm sideways. He goes, what the fuck is that? I said, I know.
That's what I
What
said.
the fuck is that? And I was like,
damn.
I was like, it looks like the fucking Elephant Man. And my husband is only 35. He does not know what the Elephant Man is.
Yeah. That movie
He's like,
terrified
let me
by
Google
the way.
that.
I was scary.
Yeah,
That
was
back
like-
then, there was no
God
makeup
damn.
for that and
No.
shit. Oh, shit was like, you're like, whoa, you know?
What the fuck?
And, but yeah, so yeah, my vagina looks like the Elephant Man. And if there is any echo when we're talking today, I did not wear underwear because none of it fits me right. So I apologize for any echoes that may be coming across. And the flies.
I was wondering where you're
Carlos
going with
keeps
that.
squishing flies, and I'm like, bro, you know.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, no, it looks like James and the Giant Peach down there, and I literally I can pick it up. Look,
Oh,
this is
God.
skin. All this is skin. So,
Yeah.
so if I didn't have this, I could see my pecker.
I've heard from a couple other people that got surgery that that's like the hardest part is waiting for the skin removal.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. But like I said, if I can use your platform and your beautiful asphalt to show off my asphalt, then I could maybe make enough money. Enough people would feel sorry for me if they could see what's under here. Because I go
terrible.
through it is
like,
fucking
damn, girl.
It's goddamn terrible.
They're
It
like,
is
damn,
terrible. And if
girl.
you're lucky enough, I'm going to show you before we leave. I'll drop trowel and let you get a good peek. But my butt cheeks. I never knew a butt cheek could look like that. Literally, I have no ass, but my butt cheeks got these neat little cute flappy things, like mud flaps. They hit right back here. And they're just like, I go, I literally go back there and play with them. I tickle them and like fondle them. And I'm like, I'm exploring new things about myself. I did not even know.
Jeez.
I've got folds and I don't need a wallet anymore. I just tuck shit everywhere. I've got I'm a giant money clip. I have no money to put in it, but I do. I literally have so much going on and I have bruises. I have so many bruises.
Yeah.
I had no idea I was bruising like this. I'll like get my clothes off and all of a sudden I have bruises all over my legs, on my stomach. I have bruises everywhere because I'm having a lot of vitamin deficiencies because I don't eat.
Yeah.
I had a taco with you earlier. I won't eat the rest of the day. I didn't eat today. I had a coffee with some protein shake in it.
So
this morning.
you take lots of supplements then.
I take a prenatal vitamin because bariatric vitamins are very expensive.
Yeah.
And I wish they weren't because when you have this, you have to take vitamins the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. And so I get prenatal vitamins because I'm still nursing and they're full of a lot of good stuff. But I had to take extra D. I had to take some extra D. Don't tell Kevin.
I see what you did there.
This, I did not have the extra D.
I see what you did there.
And I take vitamin D. I take B complex vitamins. And then
can you take regular vitamins, or do you have to have like in liquid form? Or...
No, you can take regular vitamins.
I didn't know if your stomach's still big enough that it can.
Yeah, I can take.
all that.
Yeah, I can take vitamin, but so a lot of things you need to eat when you take a medication or a vitamin. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I put protein shake. I just get the Premier or whatever Costco has on sale, and put it in my coffee, and that will put something in my stomach, and then I go about my day. I will eat whatever Colton has left over in his little whatever, or I'll taste things as I'm cooking them for people, and then I don't eat. I don't sit down with my family and eat anymore. I had to go where my whole life was food.
That's what you're saying.
To now, because when you have an addiction to food, even though I was born with a disease in my stomach that made it to where I was insulin resistant. Some people will say that's not a thing. It absolutely is a thing. I eat carbohydrates and have to take a nap because it would make me super tired. If I had bread or had pasta, I would be exhausted. I did not get energy from that stuff like an athlete would, where you want to go run after having a pasta bowl.
Sure.
I'd need a nap because my body did not break down and process carbohydrates into fuel. They stored them as fat for future energy and never used it.
Yeah.
So I just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Over the years, it just got bigger. But now I just use all my fat resources and I don't eat anything.
Yeah.
But having that whole, if I had a choice of doing any of the surgeries, it would definitely be a duodenal switch. I wouldn't do a bypass. I would not do a sleeve by themselves. This has been incredible. Besides the malnourishment, which in time, as I learn to supplement better, and as it hasn't even been a year. So as that all comes into fruition, that will even itself out. But it was definitely worth everything. But my body transition has been hard because I went from being so overweight and not being able to function, like physically, not being able to walk with people, having to sit down all the time because I could not breathe.
Yeah, it's almost like you're learning all over again.
It is. And I've never, even when I was younger, I never had this amount of energy. I have so much energy that I just want to go clean people's houses. And that sounds funny. And that's no joke. I literally want to go and help people who can't clean their home.
Yeah.
I want to just go do it for you. I want to do your yard work. I want to come over and use this energy for something good.
Right.
So I just find myself working for a lot of people and doing a lot of things, trying to help them get caught up on shit they just don't have time to do. So that's what I've been doing, and teaching Colton, taking him on jobs with me and having him help and learn things. But yeah, pretty much I am just now starting to live. Yeah. I'm just starting to live my life.
It's amazing.
That's cool, though. That's pretty cool.
It is. And I thought it would ruin my marriage.
Actually, pretty inspiring.
It is. And my husband has been the biggest trooper. I don't talk enough about how great Kevin is. He was a kid when I got with him.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
Yeah, that's a good one. So I did not want to be with anybody. I was single and living the best life ever, going out with my friends, going to yogis, going to roomers on my days off, being with my kids during the work week. But I was young. I was 25. So I was still going out and doing stuff. And then I was about 28. I got my son an Xbox 360 to be precise. From Game Crazy, when we used to have great next to Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
That was a thing. And I got the black one because I was a fat chick and I thought I needed black things in my life to fulfill me.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So I got the black one, the big black one, and it was fulfilling. What was I saying? Yes.
Oh, yes.
So I got the Xbox 360 and I got a game called Halo 2 and I started playing with my son. And then when my son would go to bed at night, I realized there was this fun online world of the headset. And I could talk smack to fucking kids and put them down and call them pussies. And what was that other word we used? Faggot. That you're not allowed to say now, but I still, I say the shit out of that word. It's a beautiful word.
I say that a lot when I drink too much.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful word. There's nothing wrong. There is being gay and there's being a faggot. Just like there is
the definition.
There's a difference between me being a woman and being a bitch. There's just a difference. It's just a word. Get over it. We're all good here. We're adults. We can handle it. So
that's awesome.
So I started playing Xbox 360, playing Halo 2, and I was fucking, in my mind, a goddess.
You're the ultimate.
But technically, a horrible shot. Terrible. Terrible.
But nobody online cared because you were a girl playing video games.
I was a chick.
That's right.
I was a
And you
chick,
called
and I
everybody
was
faggots.
spicy, and I was feisty, and I was funny as fuck.
Every guy was in love with you.
And so, do you want to know what my gamer tag was? Because I was breastfeeding at the time.
Oh,
my daughter, my little girl. I breastfed her till she was 3.5. And my gamer tag was full and then an O, Milky LUV, full O Milky Love was my gamer tag. This is no joke. Kevin will tell you that was my gamer tag. I don't even know where I got it from breastfeeding, but then when I put it on paper, it was so good.
Just to embarrass your
it was
son,
so good. It was so good. So then I made a clan because you had a clan where people joined your clan and you went and battled each other. And so it was Milky's Boy Toys. Not kidding. And Kevin became a Milky's Boy Toy.
Oh, shit.
So I met Kevin on a random game and he was sniping and he was incredible. And I wanted him on my team. I never came across a guy who every time he pulled up the gun, it was a headshot. He would have like 30 something kills out of our 50 kills. He was incredible. And he thought I was hilarious. And he had this really deep voice. So I thought he was a dude. He was a dude, but I thought he was a man. I did not know he was a kid in high school. I had no idea.
God.
So we became friends and we ended up playing all the time. Like I would get on when the kids went to bed at night and I would, get on there, get my Pepsi and sit down there and play until I went to bed. And we ended up getting an incredible team and we killed the shit out of people. And Kevin could have been professional easily. And then we started talking. And then 2 years later, he flies out here and he was 19 years old.
From where?
From Alabama.
No shit.
Arab, Alabama. He flew to Eugene Airport and we've been together ever since he was 19.
He never went back.
Never went back.
That's amazing.
He came out with a duffel bag and he didn't have nothing to go back to. He still doesn't. His dad has never talked to him the whole time he's been here. His dad don't talk. So his dad's never called him, never talked to him. Knows about his grandson, but's never had any interest.
Yeah, fucking people.
And his grandpa, his pawpaw and his nanny are who raised him. His pawpaw passed away. He had colon cancer and ended up getting a mesh surgery for hernia. The mesh ate through his stomach and he was part of that big lawsuit.
Yeah.
It literally, that's what killed him, not the cancer. The mesh.
God damn it.
And then his nanny is still alive. She is 90 and lives by herself in Alabama still. And
strong ass woman.
Yes, she's the love of my husband's life. He loves his grandmother very much. She's incredible. His mom does not talk to us either. I've tried. I send pictures of the baby to her on her phone and stuff, and it's hit and miss when she gets back to me.
Yeah.
So I do this thing where I will reach out and I will have you be a part of my life, and if I don't get, then fuck you.
That's self-preservation right there. I tried. Fuck you. You didn't respond.
Yeah, I went from being a very insecure, not confident girl growing up, like I said, about my weight and about my stigma of where I came from and my broken home and the addiction in my family and everything I went through, to now, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to share my life with you,
earned
and
it.
I don't have to know you.
You earned it.
That's okay. You're okay. I'm okay. We don't need to know each other. That's good. Let's shake hands and walk away clean. But don't think I'm gonna fucking beg you to be in my life.
100% keeping it real.
I don't have time for that. Do you have time for that shit, Mike?
No.
I don't have time for that shit.
Nope.
If that's the way it's gonna be, that child is beautiful and he is incredible and he deserves people in his life that want to participate in that. You shouldn't have to chase somebody to love your child.
I'm living it. Yeah.
Or you.
Hopefully the kids, your son, your child will get that too out of life.
Oh, fuck yes, he will, because I'm his mom, and I'm not going to let him go through the experiences
100%.
that
Yes.
I went through, not thinking love was what it isn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, and I'm trying to love myself more, but if I could get this skin removed, it would make it easier. I definitely have a better reach.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. Well, it sounds like all this stuff has made you, like I said, a stronger person overall.
At fault at times.
Yeah. From what I've gathered, I mean, yeah, we knew each other in high school, but I haven't talked to you until, what was it, about a year ago?
Yeah.
You and Sarah kind of reconnected. And then she was so impressed with what you were going through that she started telling me about you. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I remember her. She was hilarious and all this stuff. And then we started talking. But from what I've seen, you are kind of like a country girl at heart. I mean, you got tough exterior, but you like traditional things.
I'm like Jelly Roll with a vagina.
yeah. But I mean, you've got
less tattoos.
Less
The facial ones.
homesteading skills. I mean, I see.
That's awesome.
I see you dehydrate stuff.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I can.
Really
I
into
dehydrate.
shit.
I sew. I make quilts. I can even do stitches on wounds.
It looks like
That's
you're an
amazing.
amazing cook and chef,
Yep.
because I see you you like to post what you're making Kevin for dinner.
Yep.
And so obviously you still got a love for food. You just can't have very much of it.
I love
You
it.
can only
in a
have a
different
couple
way.
bites of it.
Right.
Would
And
you
I
say
love-
it let you lick everything?
I like to lick everything. I like to taste it, put it back in the package, and let other people enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they don't know that you licked
and
it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nobody knows till now.
They'll never
You don't
know.
know how many things I've been licking around town.
Yeah.
I am a part of all of you.
I'm
I
not
guarantee it.
taking any cookies from you.
Oh, honey, I've got your cookie hand. But I learned to love food in a different way now. And I appreciate it. And I just stopped letting I stopped letting the food industry poison me and my family. I decided to not let their influence and their prices and all the things that they try to bully you with to push you into purchasing from them taint my family anymore.
Sure.
So I learned to do it my way, and I learned to do it the right way and the healthy way. And it's much more affordable, and I don't have to pay for their big fancy house in Beverly Hills while I'm living in a trailer park.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so we can all do that if we just decide to take control over our food. And it's changed the way I fuel myself, the way I fuel my son. You see it in your kids. When you take away the dyes and the sugar, I don't care what anybody says. The dyes don't hurt you. The FDA says it's okay. I don't trust our government to do what's best for me for a long ass time.
Free Mike just had a big meltdown about actually just a couple days
Imagine
ago.
that.
He was going off about, he's like, I don't give a shit what anyone says. Red dye is
my
the
God.
devil.
So I went
It
to
is.
my son and daughter-in-law's, I guess my granddaughter's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this little boy there. His parents came, dropped him off. He had a great big, it had to have been a liter, red juice.
Like the fruit punch or
Oh my
something.
fucking God. That
Yeah.
kid was... And then the pinata, he ate all the candy, and just watching him like a...
Ping pong ball. And now imagine this.
Yeah.
Imagine your experience as a spectator seeing this child. Imagine the internal issues that he's dealing
Later
with
in life.
or now.
Yeah.
Imagine having all that energy and being in trouble all the time because you can't sit still, you can't think right, you're in trouble in school because you can't focus and you don't know what to do. And you've got all that inside of you. God, it makes my blood boil.
And then you get a doctor who's like, oh, well, he needs to take these drugs to calm him down.
Yeah,
And
he needs Ativan. He needs Ritalin. Yeah. He needs something to all we need to do is love our kids enough to say no. Because I've learned, telling your kids, no, they cannot have something is love. Letting them have whatever they want because it pacifies them, makes your life easier. It's not love.
No.
Yeah.
And it's not love.
Failure. Yeah.
And I don't know if I told you about my son, but my son was almost 400 pounds. And I have all these amazing pictures on my phone. But my son on his own changed his whole life. And his physique he's like an Adonis now. He is cut and he's a disc golfer in his spare time. And he walks up and down trails and he hunts and he's very outdoorsy and he's just incredible. But there was a point he was crying to me. He's like, Mama, I'm scared that I'm going to die. I get afraid my heart's just going to stop.
Yeah.
And then he decided that he was going to change everything. He wasn't heavy all his life, though, like me. He wasn't like that. So he had an ability to be able to lose the weight when he focused, or no matter what I spent, no matter what fad diet, slim. I remember in the late 80s, like 89, I remember freaking having Slim Fast all the time. I remember babysitting and taking my babysitting money to buy Slim Fast because I wanted to lose weight so bad and I did not know how. Because everybody in my family's having biscuits and gravy and mashed potatoes and chicken fried steak or meatloaf or venison and all this stuff all the time and corn on the cob. And it's carbohydrate after carb and everything's flour. Everything's cooked in Crisco and lard and bacon fat and whatever. And I just could not change it. And now I have this amazing tool that has given me that freedom. And then once I could get the clarity, because once the weight comes off, then the clarity comes. Because then those addictions and the cravings, they go away. When they take your stomach out, your stomach is known as your other brain. It's full of hormones. And they dictate what you're feeling, what you want to eat. And the cravings, they don't come from your brain. They come from your stomach hormones. So when they take that out, it goes away. Yeah. Like you don't think about it anymore. And then once you start to heal and your stomach starts to stretch a little bit, because it needs to, or it can't be that tiny forever. It starts to get a little bit. You start out at 4 ounces of fluid and food that you go to about 6. I'm at about 6 now. And you still, then it starts to come back. So that's when the mental focus came. And that's when I had to reprogram, do a bunch of research and eliminate. And if you don't have it in your home, you can't eat it.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Like when I quit smoking, I smoked for years.
Yeah.
When I decided not to buy cigarettes anymore, imagine that. If I didn't have cigarettes, I couldn't smoke.
Yeah.
If you just don't do it.
That simple.
And it really fucking is. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's just too hard. No, it really fucking is. Don't put your key in the ignition. Don't turn it. Don't walk out the door. Leave your wallet. Don't go for a walk. Yeah. Leave your fucking purse and go for a walk. Yeah. Pretend you're going to get cigarettes. You didn't go nowhere. You went around the block a couple times. You went back home and you're like, fuck, if I was smoking, I couldn't have done that.
Sure.
And you just, every day is hard. And then eventually you just don't smoke anymore. Eventually you're just not drinking soda anymore. Eventually you're not drinking alcohol anymore if that's your focus. Eventually you're just not going shopping anymore. Instead of going to Ross and buying $50 worth of more shit that's going to sit in the closet or whatever. Or knickknacks or, oh, that was cute. Go for a fucking walk. Yeah. I just had to redirect my thinking. And then that's when I got into preserving food. That's when I got into dehydrating and into homesteading skills and learning how to breed chickens and I just started focusing that energy on education, picking a topic, learning something new, sticking with it.
So is all that stuff fairly new for you then? Yeah.
Now I grew up, my grandmother, the one that was in the religion, who was a phenomenal human being, not her fault. She was brainwashed. She was a saint. Mm-hmm. She taught me everything I knew about being a devoted wife, a devoted mother, and how to live off of nothing. She had 7 children. My mom is one of 7. I believe my grandma's one of 12.
Wow.
And so I don't know a lot about my family because my family never taught us about them.
Right.
My family didn't sit and tell us stories of the days of old or do any. We just didn't communicate that way. There was not communication, and there still isn't communication like that.
Yeah.
I just recently found out from my own mom how she met my biological dad. And I'm 48, and I just found out this year how they even met because we just don't talk.
Right.
A lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, a lot of miscommunication, but not enough good communication. But I'm hoping that's changing. And anyway, so my grandma taught me how to sew by hand, put buttons on when a button popped off, do those kinds of things. And then my home ec teacher that I loved more than anything, we don't have home ec anymore, Mrs. Bonebreak. In Fremont Junior High. That woman, I loved her, but she worked with me. I still use a banana bread recipe to this day that I wrote in her class and got an A on, and it's still my go-to recipe for everything.
That's awesome.
But I learned to write my own recipes. So I could have a beautiful recipe book that's low carb, keto, even carnivore. That's where I'm going towards. I'm actually in the process of going carnivore right now.
Very good things.
It's what I need. Yeah. I'm just trying to, my frugal self, which a person with money would be like, fuck it. Just throw it all out and just go buy what you need. I got to use what I've got in my inventory. Right. But as I replace things, I'm replacing it with more proteins and getting away from vegetables and things like that. Now, I do have an arsenal of those things for Colton because he is not going to be on that journey. Yeah. But Colton does not eat a lot of processed sugars. I usually feed him stevia and things like that. And he does not do dyes at all. Period.
Yeah.
Nothing. He's going to get to go trick-or-treating, but his dad can have his candy that has things in it that I don't find appropriate.
No.
Because I don't let him have candy. My mom gives him candy when she has him within reason because I have been known to jump my mom because I need her to understand that she loved me wrong with food. I don't want that happening to
Certainly.
Colton. My mom loves with food.
Yeah.
Like her mom did. And it's not love.
Right.
So yeah, I've learned a lot of those skills through my grandma, through Mrs. Bonebreak. God love her. I'm an atheist. I don't even know why I fucking say that shit. I think it's just programmed into us to throw God and everything. When I'm coming, I call for God, all those things. And I probably should.
Oh, God.
Maybe it's subconscious. Maybe you're not an atheist.
No, I am. I am. I tried to believe.
Yeah.
I really did. And I recently contemplated, and then I decided that was not in my best interest.
Is there such a thing as a non-religious religious person?
Well, I think as long as you got faith,
there you
Spiritual
go.
Or
and whether that be you believe in the earth,
Yeah.
You believe in trees. You believe in.
Well, I think everybody believes in something.
Something.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I don't know what mine would be.
Yeah.
My
sounds like you're starting to
relationship,
believe a lot in yourself.
You're finding
and that's what matters.
Yeah.
But that gets scary because the Satanic Church, which was ran by Antoine LaVey and then was ran by Marilyn Manson and a few others, the act of Satanism is believing in yourself as yourself as a god. So you have to be really careful with that if that's the direction you're going. There was a point in time where I did not want to become full of myself, but want to have just enough confidence to believe I can do whatever it is I put my mind to it, but not become a dick.
Yeah.
Right.
Not forget where I come from and not forget about the people that I love and the people that made me.
More grounded.
Exactly. So it's more of being aware and not being woke.
Sure.
Yeah.
But being aware. I think it's just a matter of just opening my eyes, seeing things for what they really are, not what I want them to be or what I wish they were, but just trying to be present. If that makes any sense.
No, it does.
Mindfulness. Mindfulness is where I'm at these days. Things I never thought that I could do, I'm showing myself that I can and that I want to. And if I don't, then I'm okay with saying I'm not interested in that. And that's okay.
100%.
It just gets really touchy when you get to this point. People our age are really, I don't want to say stuck because that is not a right term. But people at our age typically know who they are at this point.
Well,
typically.
you hope they do, yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been through so much and so many different. I feel I've lived a million lives in this lifetime.
Yeah,
well, based off what I've learned from you, it kind of sounds like you're starting over with like a whole new life,
a whole new journey.
I feel like I've been completely reborn, literally, and
not in a a religious way.
Literally in
100%.
I am in my skin.
Brilliant.
I am finally in my skin, and I am finding who I am. Finally.
I think it's awesome. I think it's really inspiring.
It is, and I'll tell you what, it's been the most, to look at yourself, to see your demons, to see your flaws, and to see where you're going, and to figure it out when we only have so many more sunsets left. And all that everything going on that's trying to dictate where we're going on its own.
Yeah.
The way we're being pulled, the way we're being influenced, the way we're being directed, to try to fight against that current.
Yeah.
And also to keep the people that you love and hope they respect you still with your views and your thoughts and where you're at. It's hard to navigate this world.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay true to yourself, true to the people that love you, and not lose sight of that. But at the same time, be able to express yourself. It's one of the scariest things I've gone through.
Yeah.
You know how many people told me I shouldn't have had my baby?
Probably a lot.
I mean, said, you're what are you going to do with a baby at your age?
Exactly.
How are you going to, you're going to be 90 when he's blah, 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 blah. You might not even live to see him get married or whatever. And I'm like, maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Yeah. Who's to say?
But what is that your fucking decision to make?
Are you a fortune teller?
And why should my son not come into this earth and have an experience because of how long I could live?
That's right.
I could die and they could take him when I pass away. They could safely remove him and he could live and never know who I am. Or I could live to be 108 years old. And who knows? Yeah. But that's the thing, is everybody has something to say and everybody has an opinion and everybody's right but you.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to get some balls and put my foot down and say, for once, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right.
And I didn't want anybody not to love me.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody not to be my friend anymore. It's not that I don't have a lot of friends because life's not a popularity contest, but I keep my circle small for a reason.
A lot of people.
I protect myself because a lot of the people that I've met in this world are not genuine.
Fuck no.
And they're telling me one thing and they're showing me something else.
Yeah.
So I keep a distance that's safe, but where I can also stay aware. Because I found that word aware is one of my favorite words, and it's very underestimated what it can mean to you.
It makes perfect fucking sense, though.
Being aware is everything.
I mean, in all aspects of, safety and shit like that, you just be aware of your surroundings and shit like that. That's a huge...
Awareness is key.
Yeah.
Awareness when you're making a purchase. Awareness when you walk into someplace. Awareness with what decision you're going to make.
So why
what
is it
hotel
okay?
you're going to stay at. Everything. You should be aware of everything because when you stop and you become complacent is when I found that we are the most volatile and the most vulnerable. And that shit scares me.
Why would that be a bad thing in the first place?
Because a lot of people they run with the current.
Yep.
They run with it. They don't fight against it. They run with it. And they get swept to places they did not want to go. But
path of least resistance.
You got it. Exactly. Yeah. And so, that's just where I'm at.
Well, I think it's cool.
I appreciate that. I think it's cool, too. Because I, literally feel like I'm living.
Well, you've had a lot of good things happen
I'm digging it.
In the past year or so.
Oh, yeah. I bought a home, had weight loss surgery, and had a baby all in less than 2 years.
Yeah.
That's huge milestones that a lot of people
definitely
don't ever get to have. And I mean, I'm like, what? And I'm trying to figure out why the universe sent me Colton. There's something special about him. I know everybody says that about their children. I'm not kidding.
No.
So check this out. I was at Costco and I was getting bananas one day, and this woman came up to me and she looked like Stevie Nicks. She had gorgeous long hair and she had a really flowy, long, dark dress and rings on every hand. And she was just magical. Like, no kidding.
Did she have a raspy voice?
She did have a raspy
awesome.
voice.
I have.
But you know what she did? She came up to Colton. And I don't let people touch Colton.
Right.
She comes up to him and she literally stops what she's doing. She puts her hand on my son and she goes, "You're here to change the world." And then she walked away, and I shit you not. And every time I think about it, I get goosebumps from head to toe. That's what she did.
You know what I call that? That was a witch.
That's what I loved her, and I thought that was
that's
incredible.
not a bad thing.
No.
She had a vision.
I thought that was it was like, and I believe that there was a reason. There's miraculous things that happen we cannot explain.
No, the unexplained.
And the chance of having him, they said, was 1 in 2.1 million.
That's fucking amazing.
To have Colton with everything that was against me.
Fucking weird.
My age, my medical conditions, my weight, and just the circumstances. I was a very unhealthy person. I was very ill. Fuck, I don't even remember having sex. I don't even know how to have it. But
that's all right.
Apparently, somewhere between the chicken wings and the buffet, this happened. And anyway, it just, there is something special about where I'm at, why these events are happening where they're happening.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see where they go.
Yeah,
Maybe I can inspire other people to want to not give up on their dreams of having a child, that it can happen at any age, as long as you are open to giving up and sacrificing your later freedoms. Because once we become empty nesters, which is what I was,
right.
The thought of giving up those freedoms after you've already invested into your future, you've already raised children,
like,
it's time to be grandkids.
Yeah.
It's very different to take away that bit of selfishness we deserve because we've done our time, if you want to call it that. I don't mean it in a negative way, like we were tied down, but we did what we were supposed to do. We procreated, we committed.
Yeah.
We were successful. Our children were successful, and they are now thriving. They're living their lives. We did our job. We are now supposed to, in the way I see things, I don't want to say supposed to like this is law, but you marry.
In the big picture.
Your spouse is the person you're committed to, not your children. Your children end up getting their own spouses, their own lives, and you're still with your spouse till the end of days if you took your oath seriously.
Yeah.
So the person you're devoted to is your spouse, not your children. People get that twisted. So now I'm supposed to focus on my spouse. He helped me raise these 2 kids, and so to give that up, to give this baby a life,
was
a big commitment.
That's
so it is hard when you get that mindset that you're not having any more children. So that was the biggest change, the switch up. But then having your stomach removed and having the hormonal changes, that was the next biggest change. Because when you have your stomach removed, whether you're a man or a woman, and you have a sleeve or you have not a bypass, because a bypass, they leave the stomach, they just reroute the intestines, make your pouch smaller. But when you actually have your stomach removed, your hormonal changes are out of this world. I cannot explain to them, to anyone what it feels like. 1 minute I'm crying and pissed off at the world, and the next minute I am Oprah. You get a car. You get a car. Everybody come over. I'm making everybody dinner. Oh, well, let me pay that bill for you.
So do they try to mask that for you throw medications at it?
No.
Or
I am on 0 medications. The only medications I take is one of the other issues I started having is when I had Colton via C-section. It was my 3rd C-section. While they were in there, they took my tubes. They went ahead and removed my fallopian tubes. They didn't tie them. They took them out because the risk of me getting pregnant again after losing weight, because they knew that was my goal, would be really high, because you become very fertile when you lose weight. You ovulate and do all these things. And I had such a difficult pregnancy. They were really afraid I would not survive another one. So we had a very serious, and now I struggle with that. I might get emotional talking about that because I wanted to give Colton another sibling so he didn't grow up so lonely. And I'm the kind of person I believe should have more kids. I love them so much. I would take on anybody's kid that needed a safe place for their kids to go. If they couldn't do it themselves, I would take your kids and I would give them everything like they were my own. And so anyway, I've been struggling with that lately, watching Colton grow. and his loneliness. I try to get play dates, but like I said, everybody's on different pages. It's hard to get people together. Then when you make a date, then the kids have a cold and you don't want to share it. And this, you know what I mean? So I watch how lonely he is, and I wish I didn't have my tubes removed. And Kevin and I have talked about this a lot. And because of my age, I do not believe I can have IVF because I'm almost 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's all that going on. But when they took all that out and did all that, and I did that decision, my so I have that on top of the weight loss hormones, and I'm breastfeeding, which also produces. Yep. So I do it all without any medication.
Well, that's
I just
good.
do vitamins. That is literally it. And 1 cup of coffee a day is all I have, and some sugar-free tea. And I am like this till I go to bed at night, if I sleep.
Yeah.
I have so much energy. It's outrageous. I feel like I'm a teenager again.
I'm learning about like cortisols.
Yes.
I'm learning about that
levels.
right now. And
stress hormones.
Yep.
You got it.
So
Produced in your kidneys.
That's my next step.
Right up here.
Is to try to get that under control.
What are you doing to do that?
I'm looking into the vitamin store here in Roseburg. I can't remember what the hell it's called.
What's it called? Whitestone or something like that?
Dude, I've got an amazing vitamin lady that I can help you with.
Oh, good. Yeah,
I'm going to try and do it that way, natural, with vitamins or some kind of supplement. But
have you had your cortisol levels checked?
No.
Okay,
and
that's your first step.
Yes.
Yeah, first step is blood work. It's amazing. It tell you everything, your deficiencies.
But everything I read about it so far it's like, I'm experiencing that. Yes.
Right.
Nobody's ever talked to me about that before. No. And so.
And they don't, because the first thing they want to do is they want to put you to the pharmaceutical side of it.
Yeah. And I'm not about that at all.
You ever go to the doctor and you're like, God, I'm going through this and this. And they're like, oh, yes, you're having anxiety. You need an antidepressant.
Fuck you.
No, you don't.
Here, take this antidepressant and let me know if it makes you.
And then when that
depressed.
doesn't work, let's add Abilify, let's add this, let's add that. And then when you can't sleep, let's add this and let's add that. And then when you have stomach upset and diarrhea, here's some Zofran.
Yeah.
And you're like, and next thing you know, you've got 16 medications you're picking up every Friday because.
It was, the funny story is I went through some bullshit and divorce and all this crap. So I was in kind of a shady place, not so much thinking about hurting myself, but I sure the fuck would hurt somebody else, and I wanted to take that anger out and all that. So I go to a therapist and all this shit and then say, all right, well, you're depressed. Here's some, I can't even remember the name of the fucking medicine. Effixor?
Effexor.
Okay, by the way, this may cause suicidal thoughts.
On top of what you're already feeling.
What the fuck?
Absolutely.
You want me to take this?
Yep.
Wait, you don't understand. What am I here for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And depending on your age range, it's much worse.
That's crazy.
When you're over 40 and you start taking medications like that, is it SSRIs? They increase your chances of manic episodes, depression, suicidal thoughts, and also thoughts of hurting others.
Yep.
And that's and then when you do that, it's on you.
Yeah.
It's not the fault of the medication.
Oh, no,
they don't even
never.
bring that shit up.
Never.
They don't even bring that up.
Yeah.
They don't bring up that you were on the whole list of medications you're on.
Yeah. My dad, a couple years ago, he started having problems remembering stuff. And his doctor told him he thought he was might be getting early onset dementia or
Alzheimer's or dementia. Or dementia.
And anyways, so my dad, obviously that's scary. So my dad contacts me. He's scared. He's telling me about this.
Yeah.
He's upset a little bit. And I think they sent him to a specialist or whatever. But anyways, he went and talked to somebody else, second opinion or whatever it was. Turns out it was a side effect because they had him on all these medicines and they just kept giving him more medicines.
Brain fog.
And it was 2 of the medicines they had him on. As soon as this other doctor looked at it, they're like, well, you can't take these 2 medicines together. You can't do that.
You'd think a professional would know that,
And that's what they said. They were like, your other doctor should have known that. And so as soon as they got him off that, he started being able to, his memory came back and he was
absolutely. Yeah. Imagine that.
But it's just crazy how that, I mean,
It's
and that's
scary.
what a lot of doctors do. They just give you more medicine.
And what do you do when you go to the doctor? You put all your trust in this person
because
that has
they're a professional.
PhD,
Yeah.
It's like, fuck
who knows
you.
the human body. That's what they studied. So you go to them to be well because you are not feeling okay and you need to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's who we put, and they're going to write the prescription for wherever that kickback is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you ever go in their offices and they've got boxes of tissue, but they say Paxil on them.
Oh,
They don't
yeah.
say Kleenex.
Or they hand you a fucking pen that has
and
the
it's got, and it's got, whatever, some serotonin.
all their damn
inhibitor on it.
notepads have the
Absolutely.
pharmaceutical
Because
label.
that is who is funding them.
all the free samples.
Yes. It's just like when we were kids, there was not many of us that were overweight in school. Most of the kids were skinny. So it was very big to be picked on when you were heavy because it was rare to see a fat kid. So we were like the circus freak of school. And then it changed to when my kids were in school, most of the kids are obese and not small.
Yeah.
Because they took our food pyramid and they flipped it upside
totally
down.
Changed, yeah.
And they told us that margarine was good for you, not fat. They said Crisco was good for you, not animal fat, like bacon fat and things like that.
Yeah.
And they want you to have sugar and they want you to have whole grains and they want you to have...
That's when the government really stepped in and tried to...
Because that's who's writing the checks.
There
Big
you go.
Sugar.
There you go.
Big Sugar's writing the checks. P&G, Procter & Conagra Foods, Nestle, all these companies are writing the checks for what that outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
That's why I said when you start to dig deeper into nutrition, this was not a surgery for me.
Mm-hmm.
This changed my whole fucking life. And I could sit and I'll say it. I will preach to you about food till I pass out because I am trying to save you. Because I'm telling you, you do not fucking know what you are eating. You do not know what you're feeding your kids and your grandkids. You do not know unless you fucking know.
And that's kind of the beauty of meeting somebody or knowing somebody in your situation that has lived. Personally, I find way more trust in listening to your story and your lived than I would someone on the fucking TV. Or
I'm telling you, Mike, I will look you in your fucking soul until you have no idea what they are doing.
No,
And I
it's
mean
like
it.
a awakening.
And if you know, you should be scared.
And then,
because they're controlling us through food. Because what's the main thing that we all have in common that we have to have?
Yeah.
We all have to have food and we all have to have water.
Yeah.
Just look at the shit they're putting in our water. In Winston,
fluorides.
I'm going to fluoride isn't in Oregon, thank God.
Yeah.
As a whole, there are places that do want to put fluoride in the water in May that are more conservative places when it comes to, like here where we're as more conservative. They're never going to put fluoride in our water.
No.
But if you go to more liberal places where...
And then tell you that it's for your health.
No.
Motherfucking shit was made to fucking kill people.
Now, here's this crazy thing that happened the other day in Winston. I went to get water because I get my water out of my fridge because it's got a filter in it. So I never noticed it. And I was canning pears for Colton. And I went to make my simple syrup for my pears. And I got the water out of the tap and it smelled super strong like bleach.
Yep.
Really bad. And I was like, so I let it run for a little while and then I let it do it. Lo and behold, the whole batch of pears that I did tastes like bleach.
Yeah.
Even after that simple syrup boiled, it's still, because I reduced it, and it's still, the whole batch of pears that I did and all that work I did, it tastes like bleach.
Yeah.
Why? What are they hiding in my water that they have to add that much bleach to it?
They have a percentage that the government controls that they can have in there.
It's so gross. It was disgusting. And that's all I could taste. That's all I could smell. And it was like going to the goddamn YMCA. Going to the pool.
That's great.
Exactly.
My pears tasted like
when
a
you
pool.
walk in the pool room.
That is exactly what it was like. And I was like, this cannot be normal. But it's normal. And people who don't have water filtration system, people that are relying on that, our little kids are drinking that.
Yeah.
Imagine ingesting that much bleach that you can taste and smell it like right in the air as soon as you turn on your faucet, and our children are having that. That should boil your fucking blood.
It should be just an instant red fucking flag, and then you get someone, well, they're at the levels that the government says we can have.
And that's
Like,
what
what the
it's
fuck is it
hilarious.
there
There's
for?
this, yeah, you got Kellogg's recently, right? Everybody's standing outside and they're trying to boycott the colors that are not allowed in other countries but are allowed in the United States.
Yeah.
And the FDA is saying, but they are at levels that are okay for consumption. Some children may have effects, like you said.
It doesn't mean that it's good for you, but
Exactly. And so that's why I just get so exhausted. And I feel like I am fighting a battle. And when you go through this, like I'm going through, and you finally wake the fuck up and you see what's actually happening and you feel the difference in your body without having the fast food, the soda, the junk, the high fructose corn syrup, the dyes, and you actually are clean.
Yeah.
And you feel the difference when you're eating good fats. I eat avocado oil and I save all my bacon fat, and that's what I cook in. Those 2 things. I do not have any other canola. I have no canola oil, no soybean oils, nothing in my house. And butter. I use real butter. So when you've eliminated all this stuff and you want to tell the world what you're feeling, because this isn't just weight loss surgery. It's been almost a year. This is literally how clean I eat, that it's changed everything for me. And I am so scared for our children because look at the rates of childhood cancer.
how could you not be?
Absolutely. Childhood diabetes in our children. That was never heard of.
So,
do you know anybody in school that had to deal with that and have blood sugar problems? I didn't.
One kid that I remember. And
it was probably type 1.
He was born that way.
Exactly. But type 2?
The other thing that I've noticed too is, I'm a few years older than you guys, but do you remember anyone that you grew up with in school, elementary, whatever, that had a glucose intolerance or? You mean
gluten?
No.
Yeah.
No, gluten.
That's
celiac disease. None of that stuff was a
that
thing.
is so common now.
And it's not. It's
coming from somewhere.
The problem is it's not gluten. It's all the shit mixed with it.
Yeah.
Our bread doesn't mold anymore, man. The only time bread molds for me is if I get like a fresh loaf of French bread from Costco. Or that shit's gone in 2 days. It's like all moldy, If I do an event and people want French bread or something, because I don't eat that shit.
It's the preservatives and
unreal.
Unfreaking
real. And I use an app that's kind of controversial because people say, oh, it's good. It's not. It's called Yucca, Y-U-K-A. It's a free app.
I've heard of it.
It's phenomenal. It's one of the front apps on my phone. Has a barcode. I scan everything from lotion that I put on me and my baby, shampoo, everything, food, and it tells you what the hazardous materials in it causes breast cancer, causes attention issues, whatever. Because we should be aware, and you don't know when you're reading something, and everything in those middle aisles says bioengineered ingredients.
Yeah.
The fuck is it made by Elon Musk?
Bioengineered.
Where's it coming from?
Yeah.
Is it for AI? Is it for me? I don't know.
No.
But that's the thing is I don't want to get too serious about stuff like that because I could go on and on because I am just so aware of what's going on.
That's good.
But I just know where I'm at. I'm having the best sex I've ever had in my life. I'm having the best relationships I've ever had in my life. I'm having more energy than I've ever had in my life. Knowing what I know now that I did not know when I had my kids and being through has given Colton opportunities that are giving me mom guilt because I wish I would have been that mom for my other 2 kids that I can grace Colton with. So I feel a lot of guilt that comes with that. But at the same time, I am just having an incredible experience. I am poor as fuck.
You're also doing stuff with your kids that you never would have been able to do.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
What's that big corn concert?
Oh my God. And those were my older kids. The best time ever. And we went and saw Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We are living, and that's the key word.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful for this opportunity. And I hope that everyone, no matter what, you might not be able to have surgery. It might be, I don't care what aspect of living is living to you. I just want you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I knew and had the love for myself that I have now, if I would have had that 20 years ago, I would be unstoppable right now.
Things would be different, right?
So wherever you're at right now, just stop and remember you fucking matter. You can't please everybody. And just focus on what makes you, because your happiness isn't there. You can't make anybody else happy. So it's got to start here. And that's so weird when I do that. I feel every bone in my chest. And I've had some bones in my chest. They just weren't mine. But at least now it's like ribbed for his pleasure. That's interesting.
Amazing.
I gotta ask Kevin if that sternum feels good. I need to try. I haven't let a guy titty fuck me since 1996.
It's been a while.
That's extra.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Now I can just tie it around. I can just pull them up and tie them around and just let them go. I can just scroll while I just tie it to it and let them do their own thing. Throw a little spit on it every once in a while. I keep it natural. But yeah, no, I don't let nobody fuck my tits while I'm breastfeeding. That's disgusting.
That's gross.
But
That's gross.
after I'm done breastfeeding, Mike, it's me and you.
Oh fuck.
It's me and you.
There we go.
I'm gonna let you. Just cause I know you're into it, and I know you want to know what it's like to fuck an orangutan. And I'm going to let you know right now. It's going to be a good time.
I am an animal person.
You are. I know. I can smell the farm on you, buddy. And I like it. I like where we're going.
Damn it.
But yeah, that's the only thing that I have to say for myself is that definitely 100% I am living for the first time. And I am so in love with my husband.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad that he got on my game. And he teamed up with me in Snipers. And I am so glad he came to Oregon and he took a chance on me. And I'm glad that I overlooked the age barrier because that was huge for me.
That's another, yeah.
That was huge for me. We're 13 years apart. So my son, there's a 4-year age difference between my son and my husband.
Your oldest, yeah.
That's crazy.
So that is a big stigma as well. There's a lot of things I've done that are risky in my life that have caused a lot of judgment, but I have followed through with those things because I believed that they were right for me.
Yeah.
The way I view it is, the older I get and stuff like that shit don't matter. That's, people can waste all the fucking time they want on judgment and shit like that.
You're right. Look at George Clooney. I mean, doesn't he date people like isn't there like a 60-year age gap between him and who he dates? I mean, come on.
I don't know. People are just fickle.
Well, bitches, if a guy does it,
there you go.
It's gross and it's dirty. But if a woman does it, oh, you go, girl. You're a cougar.
Yeah.
So see, there are
stigmatisms that
got it
one way or the other.
And people are just are dicks. At the end of the day, that's the one thing I've learned about people is they're dicks. They just are. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're just a dick.
You sit over there with your opinion. I'm going to sit here with mine.
You sit over there with your
bitches.
judgment.
Yeah.
You really want to call it an opinion? I call it more judgment because that's what they're doing.
I have been trying to be nice lately.
You have been, and it's not a good look for you.
Okay.
I prefer the OG.
There we go.
It's
the coming
authentic,
back. Bringing it back.
Mike.
Bringing it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just learning that it is okay to be who I am.
I love it.
To grasp
I'll
what's
say it again.
coming
It's
at
just
me.
totally fucking inspirational.
And I love that for us. I love it for me. I love it for you. I love it for anybody who took the time to listen to us today and who finds their inner challenges. Find something that challenges you and commit to it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's learning how to crochet, if it's learning how to, make jerky, garden, if it's a challenge to lose weight, if it's a challenge to read a book, finish a book, start a book, finish a book, find a challenge that makes you uncomfortable or that you're not sure, and just push yourself. And then once you do one, you find that you're doing more and more. I've gotten really addicted to learning lately.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I pick a task, a topic, I find it, and then I commit to it, master it, move on to something else. Because every day that we're learning, we're growing, and we always can do that. And I'm not ready to die, brother.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to emotionally die, physically die, mentally die. I'm not ready. And no matter
in a world that's the
they're
accepted.
Pushing. Yep. Yeah. They don't want us to thrive.
Sorry, I'm going to be different. Fuck you.
They don't want us to grow. They want us to they just want us to conform.
Mm-hmm.
And just don't. Not for yourself or for anyone. And be the person that you want your kids to be proud of. That is like my biggest thing. Who do I want to leave? What do I want to leave Colton with? What do I want Leah and Dimitri to take from my life? They're not going to agree with everything I've done. They're not going to believe or agree with my political views.
No.
They're not going to agree with my diet, maybe. They're not going to agree with how I parent their brother as opposed to what they went through or how they treat their children.
They're going to have the opportunity to make their decision, though.
That's right. And I will respect that decision and I will encourage that decision. I've never told my kids, you shouldn't quit that job because you have bills to pay. If my kids come to me and say, I hate my job, Mom, and I want to quit, and I say, then do it and find what makes you happy.
That's right.
I have never told my kids, I've never shamed them. And they know that. I have never told my kids, don't do that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't date that person. You should. I try not to should or shouldn't.
Right.
Because it breeds guilt.
Yeah.
And makes you hate yourself and second guessing your gut.
Yeah.
What do I know about what's good for my kids? When they were little, I knew that they didn't need dyes in their cereal. I knew they needed a bedtime. But who am I to tell them who they should date or what they should do with their paycheck, where they should get their paycheck? That's none of my business. As long as they can provide for themselves, that is on them. They need to find their way. I'm just there to support them. So yeah, I just want people to come away with today with just find what makes you happy, live in it, do not regret it. If it doesn't work out and shit got funky, fuck it. Just move on to something else. Wash your hands of that shit.
You
don't
can say,
even
hey,
look
I did
at it.
that.
And then, or don't say you did it. Just fucking walk away. You know, I mean, guys probably say, I never did that. I mean, but just commit. And then if it doesn't work out, fuck it. Scratch it. Go to something else and just live your life. Be happy. Because fuck, I wasted too many years. And now everybody would think I'm on fucking meth or something, but I'm not. I'm just trying to live my life and I'm super stoked about it. I wake up every day going, hell yeah, what can we do today?
That's awesome.
That's sweet.
And it's cool. It's really cool. I like the way you eat those olives. Can you? I missed it. Like I only caught the last one, but there was 3 of those. And you got this tongue thing. It's dirty.
God.
It's dirty. There's only one thing missing from your face right now, and that's me.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit. Oh.
I am a married woman, Mike. For God's sakes, back off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put your little sword away.
Oh, fuck.
It is a cutie. And, you know, for being black, I was really shocked at the size.
Yeah.
But like we said, stigma is everything,
That's
huh?
right.
I mean, just because it's black doesn't mean it's big, right, Mike?
That is true. That is true.
So true.
Man, I've laughed pretty hard today.
I love it.
I'm pretty hard today, too.
Jeez. Oh. Well, I think you are one of our first actual fans that's been on the show.
I love this show.
That's amazing.
Most like I was telling you earlier, for the most part, the people that have been on the show had never even listened to it before.
That's like saying I love the Beastie Boys, but I have no idea they were a rap punk band, you know? But I love them. I'll wear their t-shirt.
But you were actually reaching out to me, begging me to.
Yeah, because
like, hey, I want
fun.
to come on the show.
I was like, awesome. You know what? You take and let people come on and be their authentic self. Just talk about stories and talk about their life and give them an outlet to reach out to people. And I think it's beautiful, Carlos. I think this is a great show.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Idea.
I mean, you get the best stories if you let people talk about what they're passionate about.
I love it. And it's great. And I think that anybody who is listening, and I hope that you get even more listeners, because I know I'm sharing this on all of my stuff, and I've saved you on Spotify and stuff, and I have anybody I know getting you off Spotify.
That's awesome.
I don't know I don't have, I have an Apple phone, but I don't use any of their products.
Yeah, I don't either, but
I only have an Apple phone because my kids do when I FaceTime with Colton.
Sure.
But other than that, fuck Apple, dude. I don't. I would be an Android user through and through. Yeah, that's not true. My vibrator is Apple.
Yeah.
But that's only because it's so simple. I plug it in, I push a button, and it works.
It goes.
I don't have to think too much about it.
I didn't know that they branched out into that.
Sure.
Actually, mine's a Hitachi. It does plug into the wall. I gave up on batteries years ago. They're just not powerful enough for a girl like me.
You gotta have that 110.
I have to power through some tough situations. And before my weight loss, there was a lot of layers
Holy
to me.
Shit.
I was a deep girl. There was layers. There was layers.
Oh my God.
But Yeah, no, this is an amazing podcast. It's a really fun one. I encourage anybody that knows you, is comfortable, come on and talk and get some shit out. Spread your awareness. Spread your views, your stories.
Yeah.
Share yourself with everyone because we're all meant to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Some people might not like things I had to say. Some people might not think I was funny, but I respect every guest I've heard on your show, and I think they all come from a place of authenticity, and that's the beauty of it.
Well, and the cool thing is you don't have to be some famous person or anything.
No.
You got your
Anybody.
Everybody's got stories.
Everybody, I think everybody's spectacular.
You had
I think
Sam on
everybody
here.
has something.
Fuck.
Yeah. Everybody's got stories and everybody's got
We all
things in
come
their
from a
life
history.
that are interesting.
We all have a history.
And then everybody's into weird stuff. I mean, everybody's got their thing that they're into.
Like Canada Man.
Yeah.
You have no idea. There is a lot more we could have touched on
blown
another
away.
time.
I'm just
We'll
blown
do
away.
another
There's
time.
no moose involved.
No. No. There only moose that was there was in my hair.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that.
It's a true, and it's a weird, and I've seen, and I have to say, I've seen a lot of porn. I've seen a lot of porn, more than my fair share. Some of my favorites, The Bald, the Fat, and the Ugly. That one is hilarious. These women were so unattractive, and it's just nasty. They're gross. But I even thought about some of my own companies, trying to become an entrepreneur, and as a single mom back in the day, trying to find avenues to make money. Obviously, I was always trying to find a way to make money. But I thought about a fleshlight business.
Yeah.
Fleshlights have become huge, especially in the gaming community. A lot of guys use them at their computers. They don't want to get up and do it. They're single. They're still in the basement. So I thought my slogan for my fleshlight company, beaming with semen. I thought that's cute. Yeah. Never went anywhere with it. So if anybody becomes famous after listening because they started a fleshlight, but I'm suing for royalties because that was mine.
We got it recorded.
It went, but I was really great at trying to come up with companies for this, you know.
Oh God!
But yeah, I think that everybody just needs to embrace their authentic self and have a good time with it.
Definitely,
because there's enough people out there judging. You know, stick with your circle, stick with what you know, stick with who you love, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love it. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
I did come. You're going to have to shampoo this chair.
Whoa.
God, everybody likes that chair.
I know.
Actually, I'm not sure. At my age, sometimes the only time I get wet is when I accidentally pee.
You were laughing a lot.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, well. Mike's usually the one sitting there, so it's fine.
I'll let Mike come over and sniff the cushion and make his own judgment.
I'll wait till y'all leave.
Mike, that's fine. You can take the cushion home with you.
Okay.
Do you want me to sign it now that I'm famous, that I've been on a podcast?
You already signed it.
Okay. I did.
That's good enough.
She marked her territory.
I lip stamped it.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Giving me tattoo ideas.
I love you. Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time.
You at least got a little bit of adult conversation for a while.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Well, usually Colton and I don't converse much. It's either Blippy, Bluey, or he wants boobas, and that's it.
Yeah.
So there's 3 B's in my house: Bippy, or Bluey, Blippy, and boobas.
Yeah.
Because that's what he calls my tits.
One's a TV show.
2 of them. Do you know about Blippy?
No.
I've got grandkids.
I
yeah.
know, but do you know about Blippy?
No, I've only watched
And you know, this will
What the
tell
fuck
you
is
my
Blippy?
character. So Blippy is a gentleman who sold off his business because he became very big in education. And I love him because he does excavators and backhoes and all kinds of cool big equipment. And he takes kids and he goes to different companies and he does like, where are raspberries? How do you get raspberries? And shows the machine that shakes them off the tree.
Oh, shit.
But he does a lot of really cool big equipment. My son is addicted to big equipment. So on my Spotify in my car, I have a Colton playlist where I have to play the bulldozer digging the sand, whoa, and the excavator song and everything over and over on repeat. But anyway, Blippy shit on someone. When he was in college, He took a dare and he shit on one of his friends.
Like literally shit on them.
Literally, you can Google it. And he apologized and everything. But people are like, I'm banning Blippi because he shit on someone. And I'm like, bitch, tell me you have not shit on someone. Metaphorically, physically. Tell me you haven't shit on someone in your life. And you want to be
give people
judged.
a hard time for what they did when they were a kid.
Dude,
Didn't
I'm
Amber
You
telling
do
Heard?
the stupidest shit when you're a kid.
Didn't
that
Amber
dude
Heard
is
just
a
go through
multi-millionaire
court?
now. And he shit on someone, so there's hope. What I'm getting at is you can literally physically drop trow and shit on your friend
Yeah.
and become
become a
rich. Don't give up on your
multimillionaire.
dreams. You can educate children
Sweet.
about bulldozers and shit on people. All
Sounds
in
like
the
a
same
real
lifetime.
construction guy.
That's something I
Yeah, that's a
never,
regular construction
normal.
thing. Yeah,
I never got to do that as a dog. I never shit or pissed on anyone.
yeah, I would not be into that at all.
I've seen a few things.
And
that
I had been asked that I have dignity on top of everything, and I was there to humiliate, not to humiliate myself.
Yeah.
I knew
So that was my thing.
work story. One time someone shit in someone's lunchbox because they pissed them off.
Ugh. Yum. That's how you get the hot lunch
Yeah.
Yeah.
or the hot Carlos.
Oh my god. Oh.
It's amazing.
Shit. Well, like I said, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
It was
Thank
fun.
you for having me.
You made me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Good.
It's amazing
You
meeting
made
you.
Mike
and
talk a
talking.
lot.
I
He
love
doesn't
it.
usually talk
I
that
love
much.
Mike.
It's awesome.
Oh, Mike's not going to be talking later. I told you.
Yeah. As soon as you guys leave,
We're going to have lip-to-lip contact, and it's not a kiss.
tattoo material.
Have fun with the elephant man.
Yes, so you're going to visit the elephant
Oh,
man. That's
no.
adorable. You know, we can get a selfie with it.
Can you roll that up for me?
They're going to remove it soon. So
Oh,
you might as well
shit.
choke on it while you can.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Twist my ball hairs.
All right. Well, I guess we laughed enough for today.
Can't even talk.
I'm going to call it a day for now. And thank you guys both for coming on. And to all the listeners, hope you guys have a good one.